BJ Nix, are you here?
Present.
Present. Spoonie, Timothy Spoonie.
Present, sir.
Margaret and Mary. Do we have a Margaret and Mary?
Yes. Cool. And the margaritas.
Right. Class here. We're ready. Let's go.
Yes, let's go.
Okay.
This is the time to line up behind your team, to support your team. Have faith in that team.
You know, it's peaks and valleys. You know, it can't always be good. And as I always tell people, you're never as good as you think you are, and you're never as bad as you think you are. But when we do know about
house call, Trayvon Diggs pick six. It's coming. They see it. Knocked away. Oh, Gregory. Hurts in trouble. 3 Cowboys wrap him up, make it 4. Micah Parsons is unblockable.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Y'all know what it is, man. It's Wednesday. It's a smidge past 8:30 p.m. Central, 9:30 for East Coast people. Pick Six Crew's in the building.
Yay.
Mariella back from her work sabbatical. Professor O still, he's been in Oxnard for a month. And he's only 6 days away from camp getting started. We're super excited.
It's nice. It's 74 degrees out here. Honestly, so that's one of the things I think gets lost in it. There was actually a Facebook group conversation earlier this week where people said, why did they go from Texas to California? It's still hot there. No, the average temperature in August in Oxnard is like 75 degrees compared to Dallas, which is like 96 degrees. That's why they go there. You can hit long workouts without having heat exhaustion.
Hey, real quick, in case you don't know, as my guy Sam's, he was with us on the Freestyle Friday. He was going to sleep on camera. He said, "It's my bedtime." Shout out to our guy Sam in the building, man. Appreciate everybody in the building. Y'all know the drill, man. Hit the likes, hit the shares. $3.99 to tell somebody. And tonight we got Spoonie's sermon. For those that are in the building, there's some here that's been rocking with us for years. Y'all know the drill.
Can I do a quick timeout?
Let's go! We are ready. Understand that. Let's go. We are freaking ready. Understand that. Let's go. Get up with this back.
No.
Get up.
Spoon, wait.
Let's go.
Hold on, Spoon. Hold on.
Let's go.
Easy, Spoon. Not yet. Back into the crate.
Next time, okay?
Hold on. My goodness. Hold on, Spoon. Hold on. Time out, Professor. I'll go right ahead.
I just want to give some attention to our guy Nix's hat, because as we talked about, Nix wants to step up, not just step up his hat game because he already had a great hat game, but Nix wants to be the forefront of Cowboys community in terms of the hat game. And he's rocking a brand new hat he just got in. So I just want to give a quick shout out to that.
It's a big facts. And actually, moving forward, Wednesday and Friday I wear the same hat, but every week guaranteed it's a new hat every show moving forward. Now, I might regurgitate a hat here and there that you already seen, but from this point forward, you won't see the same hat twice on a Wednesday. Season we do transition to Tuesdays. We'll see where that's at. Y'all kind of like the Wednesdays. We might stick on Wednesdays, but we'll figure that out on the back end. But our show during the week and our show on Friday, the Freestyle Fridays, it will not be the same hat all year, guaranteed from your guy Nix. So I had to bring out the loveliness. Yeah. Spoonie, again, for those who are in the space, I had to reel Spoonie in a little bit. I had to reel him in a couple of times. He is super excited uh, about
Spoonie,
the
our guy
sermon.
Bruce got the toxic juice said, "Rest in peace to my headphones, Spoonie." I felt the same way because I called timeout
Same.
thinking it was going to be real chill, relaxing. Spoonie went all Spoonie sermon on me. I jumped a little bit.
I did
Yeah.
too. I was like,
I
wow,
wasn't
wait a
ready. And look, as we talked about earlier, it's like, hey, we could feel it. We could feel training camp coming. We're 6 days away. We can taste training camp right now. So it's exciting times. You know, we're getting on there. Spoonie just dropping an appetizer from our guy, Haley94. Where? Spoonie, just please, when you get to the sermon, just not that loud the entire time. I'll have to like take my headset and walk out, okay? But I know you're excited,
Take the
Spoon.
earphones out and listen from a distance.
I've been strapped up long enough. I feel like Silence of the Lambs. We had the mask on,
Oh,
you know, and then when Mary's lasso around
listen,
me,
bother me.
and I'm gonna give out this warning real quick. If the children, I love the babies. If the children, you know, my babies, if they're near the TV, I'm going to suggest you guys move away from the TV.
Wait. Hold on, Spoon. Mary, at the very, if y'all didn't catch like episode 1, Mary said we have turned over a new leaf.
We have.
We've
Spoonie.
turned over a
Yeah.
new leaf. Now, Mary, you kind of failed in like episode 3, but that's neither here nor there. That's neither here nor there. That's neither here nor there. So again, we have turned over a new leaf here. This is part of the rebrand, and we've turned over a new leaf, Spoon. So
Yes.
we'll see what's going on. And of course, dropping in the chat right there. Salute to the chat, man. We appreciate everybody. Oh, TC, don't encourage this. TC, do not encourage this.
It took a lot of work getting him to calm down a little bit this season. It took a lot of work.
It's going to be a fun show tonight, man. I knew it was going to be a fun show. We get to wrap up our roster breakdown series. And, you know, look, I kind of looked at I'm lying to y'all, actually. I'm keeping it a buck. Can I keep a buck with y'all? Can we be friends and keep it a buck? We started the roster breakdown series. I didn't add up like when this would happen and how things would go and where camp started. It's like, let's do the roster breakdown series. And magically, it just worked the right way. We have quarterbacks and special teams left. Hashtag special teams matter. Right before camp. So it's working well. I freestyled it and it worked. Osmosisly, I knew. So we're good, we're good in that way. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get to the old news and notes of the world that's happened since the last time we saw y'all. Right, so I guess the most intriguing thing would be some movement, Professor O, some movement perhaps with one linebacker by the name of Anthony Barr.
Yeah, so it actually came up twice this week. So I was listening to A to Z Sports, shout out to Skywalker in the morning, and he brought up that Boss Cowboy Sports was at a football field where there was people working out and noticed Michael Gelkin was there. So shout out to Boss for picking this up. But apparently he walked over and started an interview with Michael Gelkin. They had a good dialogue, and then Gelkin just kind of, I don't know if it was intentional, slipped out, whatever, but he did mention in the interview with Boss Cowboy that the Cowboys have been in touch with Anthony Barr. The sticking point right now is just price. No surprise to anybody who's paid attention to the Cowboys the last 3 off seasons, but they had conversation and reached out. And then earlier today, another tweet surfaced from a different source. I think it was Darren Wolfson, maybe, I believe is who it was. But he tweeted out that the 2 teams that are actively pursuing or in conversation with Anthony Barr are the Washington Commanders and your Dallas Cowboys. So it's come up twice this week. So maybe something to pay attention to.
Yeah, interesting point. We had a Washington commander, shout out to my guy TC, who came through. He's a content creator for the Washington. He was talking about how our defenses are very similar. And I was like, well, it makes sense in the realm of talking about that from his standpoint, because we're the 2 teams that are talking to Anthony Barr. So it lines up with people that are following Washington and how they look at their defense. They want to do it. We do the big nickel. They do the Buffalo nickel, if you will, as he was talking about, and how that kind of moved. So it makes a lot of sense with the report of Washington and us talking to Barr. So yeah, I mean, Anthony Barr, obviously, a name that we've brought up here a lot in the spaces on Twitter, in this show. You know, we were covering linebacker and just in general with that a little tick over 21 million. By the way, the Cowboys, number 2 in the league with free salary cap space. They could get busy if they wanted to. Mary? I got to ask you the percentage because you're the percentage queen. The percentage you have that the Cowboys will land Anthony Barr at some point.
Okay, so if it's true that it's between the Commanders and the Cowboys, and the money isn't a huge gap, then I think he chooses the Cowboys because who wants to play for Washington? The thing is, though, is the money probably is a huge gap. I think Washington would be willing to outbid Dallas significantly, because we already know how Steven is. He likes to roll over extra cap money for the next season. So if that's what it comes down to, I'll give it more than 0%.
Oh, okay. More than 0. Okay, Mary.
I'll give it about 13%.
13%. Okay, 13% for Anthony Barr from Mariella. Anthony Barr with the little things percolating there, Spoonie. Where you at? How do you feel about it?
-1.
Oh,
wait, Spoonie? With the -1?
Is this you?
Somebody clip. It is a new year for Spoonie. Somebody clip. He just said -1% on us getting
we
somebody.
Clip
somebody
that later.
Yeah, clip that real quick, somebody. Go ahead, sir.
I had retired the hashtag route at Professor's class, and I understand the way Stephen Jones likes to work. And anytime when there's money involved, it's a no. It's a no. We only sign the guys that we don't hear about negotiation. We only sign the guys, breaking news, we signed somebody, but we didn't hear during the week there was conversation. That's Stephen Jones's way. Anytime like this, Mary says money is a gap, answer is no. So -1%.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's where it is. It's percolating. And again, when you have these kind of veterans, right? When you have these kind of veterans, how much do they really want to be in training camp? It might be a little long game here and not want to go through the dog days of summer when they come in. You might see that with even like with Sue and other guys that are, veterans in this league. But, we'll wait and see.
I would love to have
I'm a lot higher than you guys.
Due diligence.
I'm quite a bit higher. So Spoonie has a -1. Mary had a 12%, 13%.
13.
I'm going to go 55%. Not just because that's his number. Okay. I think there's a fairly substantial chance this happens. I really do. Because all offseason, the George Edwards connection. So if all things are equal, George Edwards, I know that the counter is going to be, all things aren't going to be equal because Washington will outbid him. I don't think they will. Like the number that was pitched out there, I know that the Lunatic mentioned 11 million. He won't get anywhere close to that.
No.
He's just not going to. When you look at what's available in terms of cap space for teams, nobody's going to pay him that. He's probably going to get maybe a 1-year, $6 million deal, something like that. I think Jerry and Steven will jump on that if his price point drops, which I think it will over the next 2.5, 3 weeks. I think there's a good chance it's going to happen. We've courted multiple linebackers, whether it was draft prospects, whether it was Bobby Wagner. We were in the conversation. We didn't go out and do enough to get them, but there was conversation and DQ was interested in that. I just don't believe that adding a Devin Harper, a Christian Sam, a Malik Jefferson does enough to move the needle because all of those guys we just talked about are camp bodies that may make a team, maybe not. I do believe that there is something to the Barr smoke. Okay. So 55% chance in the next 3 weeks.
I'll ask the next question when it comes to Anthony Barr. Is he immediately replacing LVE in the nickel or big nickel, the two linebacker sets? Does he immediately replace LVE to y'all in your minds? Spoonie?
I don't think so. I think he bumps LVE. I think LVE is a better coverage linebacker than Anthony Barr. Don't get me wrong. I would love for the Cowboys to bring in Anthony Barr to sign him, but
I'm saying, but they sign him. Would he start over LVE for you?
No, I wouldn't.
Okay, all right, Mary.
So, are you asking like by the time camp is over and the season starting, or are you just asking
if they bring Barr in, will he start over LVE? Would he be brought in to be a starter over LVE?
I think he will get a chance to compete for it, definitely.
Okay.
I think they've shown LVE that he's definitely on the hot seat. And he's had issues staying healthy as well. He hasn't been the same. So yeah, I mean, I think it's possible. I mean, just depending on the competition. I don't think automatically no, but I think he's
Okay.
going to get an opportunity to.
I mean, if we're following the money, though, would that matter, Professor O? If he's brought in, do you think he's immediately an upgrade? I want to say upgrade. I want to get into upgrade. Who's a better player? Just is he going to be the starter over LVE in their minds? They bring him in.
Yes.
Okay. Follow the money, right? He's going to be making more, so on and so forth. Yeah, I think I'm there. I think if he's signed and he's brought in, I will say I will teeter on earlier than later. Yes, if it's something after we get like towards the end of training camp or whatnot, he it might take him a while before he becomes the starter. But I think out the gate they sign him in the next, say, 6 days before camp. I think he comes in day one. He's the starter over LVE, if you will.
Interesting.
But I think about
What's the
percentage. I think about percentage.
Yeah.
So we got 13, -1, and 55.
Yep.
Here's what I've learned with doing the shows with my people, especially with Spoonie. Wherever he's at, go the polar opposite. You're probably right on these routes. I'm just saying. So if he's at -1, I'm at 101. I'm on the train, Spoon. I'm on the train, Spoon. If
Hey,
you're at
listen.
-1, I'm at 101% then.
Ooh, it's
Route
cool.
55, hashtag off jinxed it.
Oh, I was about to say you better stop.
It's cool. I don't hashtag it. Leave it alone. It's not gonna happen, and then it happens. See, we all win.
Big
Well,
fact.
we'll see.
Big facts.
We'll see.
Also, before we get on the news and notes section, ESPN Plus dropped a little article, Professor O.
They did, yeah. So, can you see the screen, the shared screen?
Yeah, I'm putting it up
Yes.
right now.
Okay, cool. So, ESPN writers did an article on what they're calling the NFL Future Power Rankings over a 3-year window. So, they looked at a lot of different things, which we're going to scroll down and look at each attribute. And you can see what their overall score was based on how they ranked the Cowboys in different departments versus everybody else. As you can see from looking at the screen, the Cowboys ranked 20th overall. And I want to show you, we'll go over not only the rankings, but what they said for their justification. So,
Right.
overall roster minus the quarterback, the Cowboys are 20th, hence the ranking where we're at. Quarterback is 9th, so they have Dak as a top 10 quarterback, as an 87 score. Coaching is 31st. I think this is the one we'll probably spend the most time talking about. Drafting is 21st, which again, I think that those are probably the two people are going to want to debate. And then front office 23, I think all Cowboys fans are like, sure, that sounds right, whatever. We do some things well, and we're weak in a lot of areas. So 23, sure. We'll go back up to the rankings in just a second, but here we go. Why they're here, the Cowboys have a lot of foundation pieces on their roster that bring significant optimism, bullish on Dak Prescott, blah, 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 blah. Biggest worry. This is kind of where it gets spicy a little bit. The story remains the same when it comes to coaching. Situational football, clock management, taking full advantage from a tactical standpoint of the personnel that you have at your disposal, particularly on offense, Kellen. That is all McCarthy's responsibility. If Dallas is not better in those areas in 2022, it will likely have a new head coach in 2023. So the last sentence of that, I think all of us probably agree with. Even the reasons on why they're worried about our coaching staff, I think a lot of us would agree with. But 31st overall for the complete
31st
coaching
doesn't make
staff.
sense. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. Like, that's
yeah.
terrible.
So what could change for the better?
Who's 32?
Grooming
Like,
ceiling.
I want to know who's 32.
Yeah, well, we can look at it really quick. So what could be better? Basically getting ready for life after Dalton Schultz and grooming CeeDee Lamb to be a top 10 receiver. So that's kind of what to expect. But yeah, I just wanted to show you guys that ranking because I think it's questionable. So chat and panel, what do you guys think of this?
I think this real quick is, and I brought this up on the space. Shout out to everybody that came through the pre-show space. The last time the Cowboys left $20+ million on the cap going into the season was Jason Garrett's last year. We're over 20 million currently, barring a signing that's going to take away a couple of $1 million. I think it's intriguing. I do believe in ties that bond, if you will. So for me, if the Cowboys are over 20 million, I think the heat is on. I don't agree with the 31st coaching staff by any stretch. I think we've watched McCarthy do things that matter. We can talk about time management here and there, but we can also cherry pick all the way to people love Andy Reid, and we can go over time and time again about what he's done in clock management standpoints that have been bad. It's the number one offense. We have our gripes with Kellen Moore, but 2 out of the 3 years when Dak was sitting, they were the number one offense, right? Dan Quinn, we watched him take the history of the Cowboys' worst defense ever and make them relevant. So yeah, 31st, I don't buy 31st. And look, as we're talking special teams tonight, year one of Fossil, we were like, what are you doing? Like, it was wild. Outside of Greg the Leg, social teams got monumentally better from year one to year two underneath there. So yeah, from a coaching standpoint, I'm not buying 30. I'm not buying 31st by any stretch. Yeah. I'm not buying that. But again, just the caveat on that last line you talked about what they do and maybe out of here. Yeah, the last time the Cowboys left a ton of money on the salary cap was Jason Garrett's last year. So that does give me pause. Mary?
I mean, I get what you're saying, but I hate that thought, that idea, because it tells me that they don't believe in the head coach before the season even starts. And if that's how you feel, then why is he here? You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Like that's crazy to me. It's like we're not gonna spend any more money to help this guy because we don't even think he's gonna do what we need him to do. We're gonna be thinking about who we need for next year. Like that's a crazy thing to me. Just get rid of him now. Like, who does that with a job? Like, who does that? Like, we're gonna give this person a whole nother year to mess up. We'll be all right. Like, that doesn't even make sense. I really hope that's not the logic. That's ridiculous. But I get the correlation, and I agree. I just would hope that's, and it probably is true. But I just think it's stupid.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I'm laughing at the Houston's number one in drafting, and that would be the other side. Forget the 31st coaching. The Cowboys drafted really that low. Ugh.
I think they're projecting Houston to be bad, so they're adding the draft capital into the equation. Is what they haven't outlined that, but that's where I think they're coming from. Because if you look at a lot of the teams on the list that are below us that are bad teams, a lot of them have high draft capital. Dolphins don't because they traded a lot of their future picks, but that's where I think that's coming from. But like Arizona Cardinals, 29th in coaching, like I don't think they're that bad. So I don't know how they come up with this list.
Yeah,
maybe they're factoring in the next 3 years they don't believe McCarthy will be here. So because there's doubt, I don't know. I'm not really sure how they came up with that, but I thought
it should definitely be like where they're at currently moving forward for this year. Because outside of this year, you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, for any of these teams.
There's no clue by the NFL, not for long, and so many wildly different things can happen during the season. So it could be now and what's happened last year and projecting into next season. But anything beyond that, come on, be clear. Like, you just can't do those things. Spoonie, 31st coaching staff. What was it drafting again? 21st? Was it 21st? I'm sorry,
yeah, 21st.
You buy or sell on there. Look, Spoon. Look, I don't want to do this every time we have a segment. Your servant's coming. Stay in the lane.
No, I'm not buying this. Listen, fellas and ladies, it's just the thing. It's a thing where you badmouth the Cowboys. It keeps everybody interested, in my opinion. We've been talking about being the most talented roster in the NFL, at least top 5. We just haven't won anything. So if that's the case, and we're not signing anybody, at all, really, we just more drafting. How are we that low? That makes no sense to me. As far as coaching, I think Mike McCarthy is a really good coach. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. He's the best coach we had since Bill Parcells. And I'm being honest with that. He's a proven head coach. The problem is that you have a front office who wants to get involved with certain things, or tell the head coach you got to work with, Kellen Moore's your OC or whatever that drama is. And that delays the process of this team having to go anywhere because there are other things being involved, which it shouldn't be involved. Let the coach, let the players play. That's what it matters. I would not disrespect the writer for doing anything because I know I couldn't do this, but I'll just kindly, respectfully disagree and be like, no, this is totally wrong.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. It's interesting to talk about. We understand that.
Oh, 100%. No, listen.
And here's the thing. To me, because literally maybe 5-10 minutes before we were live, he dropped it on me. I was like, man, I don't have the plus. So I didn't know where this was going to go into it. I knew Buffalo was number one on the list, like 90.4. And then we got it here on live air. And I'm like, and he's hitting me with the numbers. I'm like, I don't know who did this.
Yeah, this is kind of
That's pretty insane to me. So this is literally what they do. I guess on TikTok, right? It's the blind reaction that they do over there. No, me, Mary, and Spoonie literally right now are blind reaction.
yeah. This is like I'm very confused. I don't know if y'all can see it in my
31st
face, but like, very
31st coaching, 21st in drafting.
Crazy.
The only thing I told them was that we were 20th, ranked 20th. I didn't tell them where we ranked in any category, and I didn't have it pulled up on the screen where they could even see it until like a minute before the segment. So yeah, they are totally blind watching this.
This is the second time Theo did this. He did it the first time with the
Just a man of mystery, just throwing stuff
Yeah,
out.
I like the blind. It's organic though. It's
It
organic.
is.
It's organic reaction. So
Yeah, it is. It is.
I like it. That's what we're going to do. I bring it up, and you know what? I bring it up like, yeah, 31st. Ain't no way. Look, ain't no way. Ain't no. Y'all
I
know
just
the deal.
think they always
Ain't
have
no
to
way.
figure out a way to make us middle of the pack or below. Like that's the like to change the averages because being a too high, they won't like it, and being too low, they know it's unrealistic. So they try to make us middle of the pack or a little bit lower.
Hey, Mary, they did put Dak top 10 though.
I was
They
going to say that
did.
too.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's indisputable, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
The problem though is this list is so crazy. We can't be like, look, they put him at number 9 because then everything else on here we're like, I don't know about that one. I'm not sure. I don't know about the front office one. Sure, they can be 23, but
Right.
Yeah.
Very true.
the score though is interesting. So Dak's an 87 I'm assuming out of 100 on their score.
Right.
So that's interesting. But yeah, some of the other things on here they just don't make any sense. Like the Jacksonville Jaguars. Nothing wrong with Doug Peterson. I think the Eagles probably should have kept him longer than they did. But 13th best coaching staff in the NFL. I don't think Jaguars fans would even tell you that. So I don't know how
Yeah.
ESPN came up with that. So, and if their justification is, well, he won a Super Bowl, so did Mike McCarthy. So how is there that big of a gap between the two? Just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. And you know, at the end of the day, okay. I mean, cool beans. You know, we might run for the folks that actually tune into us on Freestyle Friday. We might run that list back and really kind of dig into maybe the other NFC East teams and see where they rank them and kind of go through that. That could be a fun time. So we'll pin that and we'll pick that back up on Freestyle Friday. Maybe we'll just look at the Commanders, the Eagles, and Giants and see where their rankings are versus that and have a good time with that for sure. Man, 31st coaching. Yikes. With that being said, news and notes. We got Barr. We got the ESPN Plus there.
Dalton did not get re-signed.
21. We got the 20. We got the 21 million. Number 2. But Cleveland's number 1 like 40 million. And they just gave a ton of money to Deshaun Watson, but they're like 40. Schultz. There you go, Mary. Yeah, you're right. Schultz, right?
Schultz
Came and
didn't
went.
get signed. Yeah.
Spooney.
Aren't you glad we advised you not to make that bet?
Oh
Spooney.
yeah. I lost the bet. He didn't get signed.
No, you didn't lose the bet. Your lawyer,
No, because
your
we
legal
advised
team,
you. Yeah, we
That's
advised you.
right.
Margarita, Mary, and
wow.
Professor O talked you out of that bad bet.
Not me. I was like, no, please give me the wings. Please give them to me. Give me
And credit to
the
Nick
Hold on.
because Nick
Hold
took
on.
his headphones off to walk away, so the legal counsel could talk to our client and talk him off of this bad bet. So
Look, I'll be honest with y'all.
That's
There might be a direct message after the show that they wanted the bet, but we got to talk about it.
Mooney,
Spoonie! Listen to your
Oh,
counsel, sir.
Yes.
The council won. The council.
you have an
definitely
actual
won.
lawyer. You have an actual lawyer as a good friend of yours directly above your head, and then me just as a voice of reason to co-sign her.
Get him out
That's
of
all
here.
you needed.
Right.
Thank God.
Free counsel. What do they call it? Pro bono. You getting that pro
Yeah,
bono?
pro
love.
bono.
Pro bono, sir.
Look at that.
But yeah, so again, Dalton Schultz, 15th came and went. 3/4 of the crew told y'all it wasn't going to happen. Spoony, I'm sorry. That's why Spoony's on that -1% right now after Schultz gets signed. But neither here nor there. We'll go back and we'll figure out what happens next season. And again, we kind of talked about this a couple of different times in the spaces and here on the show. I mean, the Cowboys could easily tag him next year, be under 14 million on his tag next year. So not really a lot of push, if you will, to get him signed, especially with the Diggs and the Lamb contract coming up. and what they're going to do in the offseason moving forward. But we'll see what happens. We'll see how he plays. We'll see what unfolds. Go ahead, O.
Yeah, so this one I wouldn't say is really news and notes worthy, but it's a cool thing that you should look up. So there was a gathering of the 88s, and there's a really cool picture out there. If you're a Cowboys fan, you're going to want to see it. Check out Twitter. You should have no problem finding it. But Michael Irvin, Drew Pearson, Des Bryant, CeeDee Lamb all got together. It looks like they went to maybe a Mexican restaurant for dinner. But either way, it was a meeting of the minds, getting to see, 3 Cowboys legends with hopefully the next Cowboys legend all, talking, being a part of that camaraderie together. So cool moment, not really news and notes worthy, but something I wanted to point out if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, I mean, there was one guy missing from the 88 club, though. I mean, Antonio Bryant. I mean, come on, man. Look, we need to have a push for Antonio Bryant to be included into the 88 club.
See, I was mad. Not really mad, but I was frustrated because I bought an Antonio Bryant jersey. I was like one of the, 100 people that had one.
You're good.
So I had one.
Yeah.
I had one.
Yeah.
Then he threw his jersey in Parcells' face, left the team. So I'm like, I'm not going to need this. I'll just give it away. So I gave it to Goodwill so some other person could have that jersey.
Enjoy
then, not long later, we draft a wide receiver named Bryant. Who's number 88. I'm like, I could have just kept my jersey. Could have just kept it.
It would have been fine. I got Michael Richardson's over here. I see you on Facebook, brother. We appreciate you on Facebook. I would implore you, if you don't mind, you don't do it right now. Jump over to YouTube, Pick 6 Sports, hit that sub for us. But his question was, what's y'all's personal thought on why Schultz not getting signed? Proof is kind of in the pudding, I think, but I'll spin the wheel. Let me go with. I was drinking. Let me go with Spoonie then.
I'm good.
They want to see their replacement. They want to see Schultz repeat again. They want to see Jalen Ferguson, how much he catches on, and they'll make a decision next offseason.
Okay. With Schultz not getting signed, thoughts on it? Personal thoughts?
So I'm kind of twofold. So it would be great for Cowboys to get in front of contracts. So had we offered him a contract and not had to tag him, it's a different story. So prior to Njoku getting his big money, there wasn't a lot of movement on tight ends aside from franchise tags. So this would have been a great time in say February, early March to extend him, but we chose to franchise him. And then after seeing how the tight end market moved from that point, there's not really any reason for the Cowboys to do it now because, one, if he has a good season and you don't want to bring him back long-term, you can get a high comp pick. 2, if he has a good season and you do want to bring him back, you can just slap the franchise tag on him and have him for another year under market value. And then 3, if he doesn't have a good year or somebody else steps up, you're not handcuffed to him. So from the Cowboys standpoint, there's really not a likely scenario. I mean, barring him having like a 1,400-yard year or something crazy, for them to extend him long-term right now anyways. So he progressed in 2020, took a big step forward in 2021. Can he go from that tight end 7 or 8 to tight end 5 conversation where you want to extend him? I don't know, because right now I don't think he's the top 5 tight end, but I do think he's a top 10 tight end. But I also will say I don't think there's a big difference between the 7th or 8th tight end and the 15th tight end in the NFL. I think the margin between the top 5 and that is a much bigger canyon. So I think from the Cowboys standpoint, it's just a smart move. Let him play it out. If he has a big year, you can run it back on the tag again, let him walk and get a high comp pick, or extend him if you want to do that. There's not really any downside from the Cowboys. So I thought it made sense for both sides. And again, from him, he only had, I think his 4-year contract before that was like, we talked about it last week, like $2.8 million in career earnings.
Right. Yeah.
He's going to get $11 million this year.
Right. Yeah. I have a lot of thoughts about this. I'll try to reel it in, if you will. I think number one, the Cowboys were dealing with the Amari Cooper situation, so they couldn't multitask. So hey, you know what? Throw the tag on him, we'll sign him. I think there's he's good. We ain't got to worry about it. We'll deal with the Amari Cooper situation. They got through that, and again, Steven and the front office being a little bit slow allowed the Njoku thing to happen, so they couldn't get back to him at that point. I think that's one. But I think the other side of it too, and we've talked about this on this show, on our spaces, in our group chats, everyone's worried about wide receiver. Be clear. Your number 2 on this team is Dalton Schultz.
Yep.
It's CeeDee Lamb And then it's Dalton Schultz. It's cool. We can talk about Tober being the day one guy. We can talk about James Washington being, maybe he's the guy till Gallup gets back and all that. Until Gallup comes back, unequivocally, Dalton Schultz is your number 2. Period. And that matters. And that's 10.9 million reasons to have him here. How he progresses this year and what happens, we'll see. And we'll move forward and things will happen. And they have the opportunity to tag him again and be underneath that, blah, 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 all that stuff. But I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to talk about here and now. They were lazy in how they were attacking what was coming up. And then, stop me when y'all heard the story before, they got somebody on the tag and got bit in the ass. That's what happened. So now here you are. But moving forward to where we are 6 days away from camp, because we're chasing number 6, the quest for 6 starts in 6 days. He's your number 2 out the gate, period. That's where it's at. And we should feel okay about that because there's teams around this league that literally have had tight ends as their number 2. Shit. Oh, sorry, Mary. New leaf. I'm sorry. We're getting close to camp. I'm excited. We're getting close to camp. I'm sorry. I'll put one in the, let me put $1 in the cup. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. If you look at Kansas City, Travis Kelce's the number 1 right now. Right? I mean, we can just kind of pivot around the league and how this thing works. What O said is he's not a top 5 guy. Production, you can kind of look and whatever, but the eye test, if you will, tells you different things. But he's top 10 for sure. So we had to get off the gas. Yes, I think it's one side that we're upset because the Cowboys didn't handle the situation properly. But here we are. We can only deal with where we are. So look, he's locked in. It's time to roll. He's your number 2 going into camp, and probably week 1, he's probably going to be your number 2 guy. And Dak, your franchise guy who's a top 10 quarterback, loves him. And we'll move forward. Shout out to my guy Jake Ferguson, though. Let's see what he does. Mariella, not getting the deal done, 10.9 million. How you feeling? Where we're at?
Echoing a lot of what y'all said. They were lazy in the off season. Like you said, they can't multitask. For whatever reason, they acted like they had no idea what they wanted to do in the off season, and then we lost, and everything was just like sitting on their hands for a long time and bad mouthing people in the media and not figuring out how to trade people and whatever they want to do. So it was like, I think they thought, the tight end market was kind of low. I think they thought 10.9 was fair, and he would be happy with it to get a deal done based on that number. And then Cleveland came in, overpaid Njoku. He was definitely overpaid. I don't care what anybody says. And that, obviously Schultz looked at what he got, looked at the stats and said, I want at least that much, at least. And, for a good reason, I can see why they weren't ready to do that. Cause he's still, he's been steadily improving, but I could understand why they would want to see more. I'm happy he's here for another year. Cause like you said, he's the second, the second option for us, especially with Gallup out.
Right.
And continuity, I talk about it all the time. I think it's really important. So
there it is. Yeah, I'm with you, Mary. That continuity, you always, the tie that binds with Mary, that continuity. I like how you brought that full circle. And look, real quick, shout out to our guy Michael Richardson. Welcome to the party, pal. Welcome to the party, pal. He's over on YouTube. He hit that sub. The fire emojis are happening already.
Look at the reception he gets too. So yeah, we have a welcoming community on the YouTube side. So if you're out there on Facebook, we love you and appreciate you, but the YouTube side's just a little bit better. So you should check it out.
It's a little bit litter. It's a little bit litter, if you will. With that being said, do we go some news and notes tonight? Does that conclude, or we have something
that pretty
else?
much covers it. Yeah.
Okay, well, let's pivot. So we are now going into our final week. We are wrapping up our series of the roster breakdown. We got quarterback and special teams. Guys, Mary.
Yes.
Where would you like to start, Mary? Quarterbacks or special teams?
You know what? Let's just do special teams. Because the Dak thing is going to be... That's going to get out of hand.
I'll be honest, Mary.
We'll save the best for last, okay? Save the best for last.
Fair. I'm surprised.
Flip it.
Yeah.
Let me talk to my client real quick. My fellow attorney. So Mary, let me make my case to you. The quarterback room, I don't think is as spicy. Like I think there's going to be more debate on the special teams room because we're not just talking about our kicker, punter, and long snapper. Those are pretty much set except for kicker. We're going to be talking about some of those guys that may be making the roster as special teams guys, and there's some maybe prominent guys on the roster getting booted, maybe guys that are not being talked about making the team.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's more exciting because really a quarterback, we're
true.
only talking quarterback too that has any.
That's true.
That's very true.
Yeah.
That is true. That is true.
Ladies first. So if Mary wants to go quarterback last,
but hashtag special teams do matter. So
they do matter. But Mary, you actually did say in our group chat as we're leading up to today and doing the show, you was like, let's just talk. We don't want to talk about just kicker and the punter. Let's talk about all special teams.
Correct.
You did.
So yeah, let's do it. It is more spicy.
Guess what? Overruled. I object. We're doing quarterback first, and then we're going special teams.
Okay, I'm down for that. I got it.
And guess what? Oh no, my guy Sam says, "What is Facebook? Is that like MySpace? Get out of here!" But
I miss MySpace, man. I would much rather have MySpace back now.
Sam, you would be in my top 8, daggum, just for that. Like I wrote with the hearsay. So off the rip, we are going to go because special teams spicy. Quarterback, it might get spicy because Spoonie, they wasn't in there on our space earlier. It did get a little spicy on the quarterback, a little bit, a smidge, if you will, and we'll see. Right. I mean, and we'll see where it goes. So let's go with. I mean, where we go? I mean, guys. I mean, let's just do it. Let's go QB1, number 4 on the field, number 1 in your hearts, right? Number 4 on the field, number 1 in your hearts. And look, producer Jay is like, hey, you're doing quarterbacks and special teams. Like, and if y'all have watched and y'all have seen our overlays for the YouTube covers, she's like, how many, like, you want Dak, but who else? Blah, blah, blah. I was like, Jayla, you take Dak, you put the finger up to the sky in the middle, and we're good. She's like, oh, you're right. Say less. I was like, thank you. The one time, look, I'll get a co-producer on this one. I ain't had no co-producing the entire time, but this one I get a co-producer for this overlay. So I'm winning on that front. But the one and only Mr. Rain Dakota Prescott, Mary, there's no way in hell I'm not letting you lead this off. So by all means, the floor is yours.
I mean, well, you know, he had a great year last season coming off of a very severe injury. And, you know, statistically amazing. Finished the year top 10 in most, top 5 in most categories, but top 10 overall, you know, consensus top 10 from people all over, fans, media, whatever. Right. And, you know, he had a little issue in the middle of the season with his calf or his shoulder and all those things happening. So this season I'm excited because he didn't have to really rehab anything. He's been able to really just focus on his technique and with his teammates and all that other stuff. So, you know, he's in the best shape of his life. And
best shape. I love it.
I mean, like I told you guys, I'm gonna believe it because we need it to be true. So
that's fair. That's fair.
You know.
Okay.
I'm looking for that next step. We needed to do that next step.
Hey, look, I'll be honest with y'all. When I woke up this morning, I just want to be clear. When I woke up this morning, and we know what's going down on Wednesdays. We're heavy. We're talking about what we're doing and what we're going to talk about and get everything set up and whatnot. I never knew at this point at 9:16 p.m. Central that the trending chat topic would be MySpace.
Right.
But here we are. And real quick, I just want to say, I used to honey roast people in Madden on 360, and I had clips. And on my MySpace page, I had those clips with those people in my top 8 that I was roasting. I would give. There's a large sum of money I would give if I could get those clips and really have those and run it back. But neither here nor there.
I never had
MySpace though. No, MySpace was amazing. First off, it taught you how to code. If you wanted to customize your page, so you're learning how to do backgrounds and how to put songs and like GIFs or GIFs, whatever they're called, emojis, all that stuff in there. So it's kind of fire. But I had so many issues with relationships, not just with girls. Like my friends too would be like, hey man, why'd you move me? I was number 3. Why am I number 5 now? I'm like, oh, just because I had to cycle
It was a
through.
problem.
I'm like, chill, just chill. It's cool. MySpace was amazing.
Yeah, look, story time, real quick. Story time. Look, we'll get into the Cowboys content. I might have known somebody, and we were in a previous life of mine, if you will. I was into promoting clubs and DJing clubs. I used to DJ and whatnot. And I had a guy that I was working with. He was a local artist, and he was, rapper, and look, good at what he did, right? There it is. I wasn't going to bring it up. I was waiting for that right there. I was definitely waiting for the time in the building. And he got his money and he left. He wasn't Zuckerberg, all these other. He got his money and left. But anyways, back to the story. And things happening. We're doing live shows. I'm setting different things up. I'm DJing here, whatever. Things are happening. That top 8, get you caught up. It'll get you caught up. Magically, he ended up on a particular female's top 4, and then and you have to think, like, back in the day, we didn't have these iPhones, like cell phones were flip phones were around, you know what I mean, and stuff. Didn't matter. Oh, it was crucial. It was very crucial for my guy. It was a tough time. The top 8 wrecked some shop. He fixed it or whatever, but yeah, man, the MySpace. Back to Owen's point there, Professor O, with you're not wrong. It was very serious business. Oh, I was number 1, 2, 3, 4, and you dropped me.
It was like ranking your friends. Like, imagine if we had a pick 6 MySpace, and then suddenly, Mary, you were number 4 when you were number 2. You're like, whoa, what, did I say something in the chat? Like, what happened?
I'll be honest with y'all. As we're into season 4, this is the best comment ever. Of all 4 seasons, I don't think it'll be a better. We didn't deserve time. That's it.
But
Bruce won. That's
you guys saw that on Twitter when they had that thing about I forgot what it's called, but your profile picture is in the middle. I guess all your friends that you value.
The circle thing.
Yeah, in the beginning, I saw a lot of comments like, "Oh, it's word. I'm not in this photo. There's an issue between you. I'm unblocking you right here. I'm blocking. I'm like, damn, is it that deep?" I said, "Hold on, let me go look at everybody. Where am I at?" Let me go see.
Hey, real quick, Jordan Harris says, "You mind if I get in and talk Cowboys?" Here's the thing: comment section is wide open tonight. Freestyle Friday, sir. Freestyle Friday. We drop the link. You come on. You talk. Freestyle Friday. We do it at 9:30 p.m. Central. Absolutely. It's an open invite for anybody in the chat. If you haven't checked out our Freestyle Friday shows, a little looser, a little bit more fun. You might get married in the club with the people in the background. Things happen. The Pale L's from my guy O comes out. Some different things happen. And last week, if y'all missed the show last week, man, we had our guy J Tuck. Shout out to CFO in the building. He came through. Our guy Vosh Lombardi came through as well. Yes. Freestyle Fridays are a lot of fun, and man, we want to interact with y'all even more. My guy TC, who's in the building, Freestyle Fridays are huge fun.
We had Samuel Rowe, Tex Mayo, so we have a lot of people in the chat. Stam. And again, you can join and ask a few questions. You can just chill with us for hours, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, it's whatever it is. It's what it is. He goes, boom. Oh, wait. And he goes, how do I get in there? Well, first and foremost, you have to sub, hit that notification bell here. Boom. And then on Fridays, come through. We have the link pinned at the top. Cell phone, tablet, whatever you got. You hit the link. You come in. You got to even download the app. Just come in. We don't do the phone calls anymore. We just let you come on and rock with us. Forget the call line, man. Come in and rock with us. So, and of course, we might on Freestyle, we might bring up the J Tuck signing contract again, Robert. Yeah. But let's get back into the mode of what we're supposed to do tonight, guys. We're going with the quarterback, Dak Prescott. Mary, glowing as she should be about Dak. Best shape ever. Spoonies.
I mean, and he actually looks it though. He really does look it. If anybody's seen him, he's leaned out steadily over the years, and I think it's kind of set him back when he got injured. He was just worried about rehab, but he looks really lean and ready to go.
Facts. Spoonie, Mr. Dak Prescott.
I I feel great about him. I not only as he
Jordan,
Yes,
if you
go-
want to join the, sorry, he's talking about. I think he might be talking about the Facebook page as well. If you're talking about the Facebook page, that's
Star Gang.
Star Gang.
Yeah,
Or is it
Star
Pick
Gang
Six?
is the Facebook page.
Okay.
No, yeah, the groups, but the page is Pick Six. But neither here nor there. They'll feel, look, mod extraordinaire, help our guy out there, Mendoza, lead him to
Lead
the
him
way.
to the water.
Lead
Mendoza.
him to the water. Lead him to the water. Okay, go ahead there, Spoon.
No, I think what's great about Dak is not physically has he improved, is also mentally. We all know the things he has went through the last couple of years with family, him getting injured, and some of the worst critics that talk about him. It's not easy to deal with. I also love the fact how the organization has involved him as far as the team movement, but he's part of the decision making. And I've learned that when Jalen Tolbert was speaking about the NFL draft process, how Dak Prescott was interviewing him and others. And 2 days before the draft was when he had told him, "Well, we're looking at you." So when you see that in a quarterback, you should feel good all the way. Dak is ready. Mentally, he's ready physically, and he's ready to go to this next level. And I can't wait because this is going to be year 3 under McCarthy, who was, again, a good coach. We was robbed off that first year, but last year I think was a big step, and I think this year we can make even bigger step with him.
Okay, Fetcher O.
Yeah, I feel really good about Dak. Think about it this way. So he was banged up in the offseason, getting healthy, then suffered a shoulder injury in training camp. So we didn't see him until week 1. So there was some concern, he's coming off of a broken ankle and he has an arm injury now. How's he going to look? And he came out guns blazing and had a great game against Tampa. Fell short as a team, but Dak, everybody after week 1 was like, okay, cool, Dak's back. We're good. First 6 games of the year, Dak had 16 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, was on a pace for 45 touchdowns and 11 interceptions for a year, which would have been a great pace. Then he has the calf injury, and we start wondering, like, how is that going to bother him? Is that going to affect him stepping into throws? Is he going to be as mobile? And we did see a little bit of issues as the season went on, where he was clearly injured playing through it. But this is how good Dak is. He was on pace for 45 touchdowns and 11 interceptions. He finished with 37 touchdowns and 10 interceptions, and he missed a game. So if you look at his average and throw in 1 extra game, he would have been right at that 40-ish touchdown, maybe 10 or 11 interception ratio, which is awesome. If you're 3 or 4 to 1 interception or TD interception ratio, you have a hell of a quarterback. So the fact that Dak, coming off of injury, suffering another injury, playing, then getting another injury, still put up 4,400 yards, 37 touchdowns, completed almost 69% of his passes. Like, Dak's the man. When you hear this talk, because we hear it all offseason, every offseason, this player gained weight, this player lost weight, they're in the best shape ever, every year, and every fan base is saying the same thing. Like, Saquon Barkley's in the best shape ever, Kadarius Toney's in the best shape ever. You just hear it. Dak looks the part this year, and I think he's on pace. I think he's going to have a monster year. Like, I think Dak will throw for 40 touchdowns. I do believe that. So last year he broke the team record. I think he will shatter it this year. He'll have 40 touchdowns this year. So yeah, I'm all the way in on Dak.
Yeah, for me, and I've been this way for about a month now, I think it's going to be Dak's best year, period, as a quarterback in his career. I don't think this isn't even me like hedging a bet. This isn't me like, well, I think this is going to line up, blah, blah, blah. No, I just look at his path, what he's done, how he's got here, and what's happening. Yeah, I think the fringe of this weird Dak is 8 to 12. I think that won't be the response at the end of the year. I think we're going to go through this season and we're going to see is Dak's a top 5 quarterback. I have a lot of different reasons about that. I have a lot of different thoughts on that. Dak's about to arrive in a lot of different ways that people have been asking for it in different realms. And if you're paying attention to how his trajectory has been, you can see this.
I got some ideas myself.
I'm going to pin it right there. I'm not going
guess
too far
those
tonight.
two. Yeah.
I'm not going to go too far. I'm going to pin it right there.
Brought it full circle.
I'm going to pin it. We do every year the season preview show. When we get to the season preview show, I'll come back and I'll give you my thoughts and everything on top of that. So if you're subbed, stick around, come back through. We call that a tease in the business, if you will. But I promise you, I think that can set up for the best season he has ever had. And on MySpace, he'd be my number one. To bring it back to the MySpace. Oh, number four on the field, but number one in our hearts, Mary. That's where we are. Okay, that's where we are. But we got some other quarterbacks, and really the more intriguing side of the quarterback side, right? The more intriguing stuff going into camp, and maybe where the real battle begins. We had a backup last year. Oh, well, I say last year. We've had a backup for a while, if you will, in Mr. Cooper Rush. And look, we'll never forget in Cowboys history, in Minnesota, winning that game, his dad
so great.
in
He
the
was
field.
like,
Look, yeah, and rubbing his shirt, doing everything. Like, I could not, at a point in time, if you're a parent, like, you understood what was going on right there for that guy in that stands and everything.
Yeah, that was
It was a
amazing.
great moment. It was a great moment for him. Let's get to the brass tacks, though, Professor O. Mr. Cooper Rush for you going into training camp.
Meh. I mean, that's what he is. Like, he's a guy, if I'm looking for a backup quarterback who can come in and play one game like last year, cool. I can live with it. If I lose my starting quarterback and he has to play a significant amount of time, I don't feel good about it. And to be fair, that's how most teams in the league are. You lose a top 10 quarterback, you're probably going to have a bad season. I don't think Cooper, I'll put it this way. I don't think Cooper is talented enough for us to even continue to run our offense the same way as what we've done. There are other backup quarterbacks that other teams have where they can at least have some semblance of the offense they ran. Maybe not to the same caliber because they're taking a step back, but they can still run the same offense. I think Cooper's lack of arm strength really hinders what Kellen or McCarthy are able to do with the offense. I do think he's an accurate, smart quarterback. I saw in the chat Stephen White mentioned he'll be our next offensive coordinator, which should be funny, but he's probably not wrong. There's a lot of talk about that he's, has a high football IQ, understands the game. He's just not super talented. So in terms of quarterback 2, I would like to upgrade. I've wanted to upgrade at quarterback 2 for years. We had Andy Dalton for 1 year and we needed him. So you would like to have that guy if you're in that spot. So quarterback 2, I either want like a vet who's been there and knows how to do it, or a young guy that I'm developing to be the guy to do it down the road. Mm-hmm. And I don't think Cooper is anything more than just a Band-Aid that's been here too long.
Okay. I mean, could Cooper, if it's a 3-game stretch, are you okay with Cooper Rush? Okay. The shrug says it all.
Sure.
Shrug says it all.
I'm good with him for one of those 3 games.
Okay.
So he would probably go 1 and 2, depending on who we play.
Okay. Spoonie, Cooper Rush coming in as the incumbent, if you will. Don't go to the next quarterback. Just here on Cooper Rush. I know you, Spoon. So Cooper Rush.
Hello?
Uh-oh.
Chicago? I'm going to throw you a second round pick for Andy Dalton right now. Cool?
Ooh, a second. Oh,
what?
Okay.
You smoking
Nope,
crack.
I'm overruling that. We're not doing that.
Objection.
Wait. Hold on. I got it somewhere. Hold on.
Mary pulled out her objection already.
There it is. I object. Hold up. We object. Did you just see the second round pick, Spoon?
If I want to win, second. If Dak, God forbid, Dak went down. If Dak went down, I am throwing the house for somebody to save my seat. If not, tank it off. I do not trust
Wait.
No, I don't trust him.
Okay, don't trust him. Look, if you get in, hold on, wait. Let's frame that real quick, Spoony. Let's frame that. What you're saying is, if Dak was to go down for an extended period, then you're throwing something out there to get somebody. You're not talking about right now. Okay.
No.
Let's frame it. Let's frame it in the right way. Okay.
Yeah,
Ooh,
now.
I was like,
you gotta give some context to that, Spoonie. You scared me.
Hey, look,
That's
we're
how
all
I
about
feel.
context here.
You're gonna have
Spoon's
to have a
throw
talk
second
with me
round
after
pick.
this.
Oh my god.
That's how I feel about Cooper Rush. That's how I feel
Okay.
about it. I'm sorry. Look, I know he won that game last year. Let's be honest. We was grinding at the TV set. All of us. Every throw he made. Oh my god. Oh my god. That was oh my god. We was not comfortable as fans. That's that right there is not good to have during this. Now, if you want to save the season, you do that. If not,
Right.
you ride with Cooper. I'm sorry. He's just not the guy. They need. It's like P.O. said, they got to upgrade with a veteran guy who could lead this offense moving forward. If Dak's not there for a long time. Now, a rented piece for at least a game, I'll give you that. But I don't trust his backup at all. I really don't.
Okay. All right. Mary?
Yeah, it's funny that Kellen Moore was, when we had Kellen Moore as a backup, just to say that, like, this guy has 9 lives. Like, he's not a good QB, but he keeps making the team. And like
This
every
guy
time
went to the New York Giants, who have no quarterback, and they were like, "We've seen enough. We're good."
yeah,
And the
like
Cowboys are like, "Come back, please."
yeah, like every time I thought I got rid of Kellen, same thing with Cooper. Like I thought we got rid of Cooper, and then he's back. And I've been saying the same thing as Professor O. Like I want somebody that we can actually depend on in case something really happens. You know, he won that game. I was happy for him. I was happy for his family. You know, but yeah, if something really goes down, I do not trust him. I trust him for maybe 1, maybe 2 games, depending on who we're playing. But I don't understand why they seem so comfortable with him. And, you know, we're going to get to the third guy, but between the two of them, the fact that he's obviously better is not saying much.
Okay. You know, the one thing, if y'all don't know about Cooper Rush, he does a fantastic, spot on Jason Garrett impersonation. And maybe that's why. Maybe Gary and Steven just love the fact that he can come in and really just deliver that Jason Garrett talk to them, and it makes them feel better. Right? Look, this is very simple for
He's
me.
also ginger, so that helps.
No, he's right. He checks all the boxes, Mary. He checks all the boxes. But here's the thing when it comes to him, and I said this, if y'all tuned in last year, I said it. He doesn't have an NFL arm. I don't like, what are we talking about? Like, he doesn't have an NFL arm. Shout out to Minnesota's defense being ass, and we won a game up there. Cool, and I'm happy for the moment. And Cooper Rush probably does have a career as a coach. He is very smart. He does understand football. There's a lot of things about that realm that he's able to do that is good. But from an arm talent standpoint, it's not NFL. It's just not there. And I banged the table last year about that. You know what I mean? I was like, yo, like, we need something else. It's not there. And I was Nucci gang. I was Nucci main. I was like, he could throw the ball further. I don't know. Give me Nucci main.
See, that's how desperate we were. See, that's bad. That's my point. Like,
hey, Mary, I'm still Nucci gang. I'm still Nucci gang Overwatch.
I mean, even in the division, though, like we saw the Eagles at one point, they had Joe Flacco. I'd feel a lot better with him than I would Cooper Rush. And then they were like, Flacco's not it. We're going to move on from him. And then they got Gardner Minshew.
Right.
Yeah.
Then they drafted Bailey Zapp. Like,
right.
That's pretty good.
I mean, Nucci got some fire hats.
He got some fire. He found his angle. He found his lane, if you will. But yeah, I just like, look, no disrespect to Cooper Rush by any stretch of the imagination, and I appreciate what he's done for this organization. I appreciate the game that he won last year, and that's a great moment for his family, and that's going to live with them and be forward thinking. And I'm super happy what happened in that realm. But when we talk about between the white lines, and that's what we do here, between the white lines, like, the arm's not there. And look, maybe he can get you by a game. Maybe 2. It's ugly after that. Like, it's just not there. So the Cowboys do need to upgrade. And then we have to go to the other side of things. Whenever you're working, because Dak can't throw to everybody during camp, you need a lively arm to develop and see what these young, especially this year at wide receiver, you need to be able to see, or tight end even. You need to be able to see what these guys can do, and you need a better arm. You need a better reps to get you ready for the season. And I just don't know if Rush does that. We all talked about maybe in the 5th round with the 4 picks, they might go wide receiver or a quarterback, excuse me. And they didn't do it. Well, Spoony, there's a reason they didn't go. There's a reason. There's a reason they didn't do it. And it's not about the fire hats that our guy Ben DiNucci does drop. What's that song? Rocky Top, yeah, right. West Virginia, Rocky Top Mountains, all that stuff. There's a guy out there. There was a guy.
Are you asking me that song? Like I'm the one guy. He's like everyone else on the panel won't know this song. Let me ask Matt about the random country song from West Virginia. He'll know.
I thought I said Spoony. Did I not say Spoony? I thought I said Spoony.
Like, oh
Yeah.
I was like,
I'm pretty sure I said Spoony. Did I not say Spoony?
I don't know. I know it wasn't going to be me.
You said me, and then you came out to PO with the song.
Yeah. Okay, neither here nor there. I knew the song.
Yeah.
But Will Greer.
I like
0 to 4 touchdown interception ratio.
Say that again, Mary.
0 to 4 touchdown interception ratio.
Okay, but that was here. That was somewhere else. That wasn't here though. See, thank you, Lunatic. Thank you. I know I said something first. I know that. I know what I said. I know that. Okay, Will Greer though. So they didn't draft a guy. We kind of feel where Ben DiNucci is. Spoony, you've been very high. Let me roll out the red carpet for you. Yeah. Sing the song first, because apparently I have Matt. No, I'm joking. But Will Greer in the building.
No, I like the signing. I like Will Greer. This is a McCarthy move. I trust Mike McCarthy when it comes to quarterback. He develops quarterback pretty good. He has an NFL arm, in my opinion. He's a 3rd round pick. I always say a change of address can help a player out. This is a better team than where he came from last year, in my opinion. It's a fact. So
It's definitely a fact.
He has almost a year under his belt with this playbook. So I can't for him to go out there in the preseason and really show. It's always been questions about when you have a bad backup, you can never see the production of your wide receivers, how good they can be because you have a bad quarterback. I think with Will Greer, we'll be able to see more of the wide receivers in preseason for what they really are or what they're going to become. So I'm excited about him. At least this is solid enough for me. Enough.
Okay. And real quick, I think it's Rocky Top Tennessee. I think that's the song. So that wasn't even West Virginia. My fault.
There's a song though. It's like Country Roads Take Me Home. I know the song. I know
what we're talking about. I was doing Rocky Top Tennessee though. I had to think about that's the song I was getting to.
Yeah, there's a song that says like West Virginia. It's I don't know the name of it. I know it from The Office. We'll figure it out. Andy and Dwight. If you've seen The Office, Andy and Dwight play it.
There you go. But with that being said, the Cowboys traded for Will Greer, right? Am I wrong there? They traded for him. So he's been on this roster.
No, they picked him up off of waivers.
Was he waivers? Was he get cut and they got him?
I think it's waivers.
They acquired him roughly 10-ish months ago. Yeah. So he's had time. He's had time to get the offense under him, right? To learn the people around him, do things, Professor O. Your thoughts about Will Greer going to this camp?
So, mixed bag. So, Cooper Rush doesn't have arm strength. Will Greer, depending on who you ask, either has an NFL arm or doesn't. A lot of scouts and NFL executives said they did not think he has an NFL caliber arm. But Dane Brugler, who's one of the best in the game, said he thinks he does have an NFL caliber arm. So I'm just going to average them out and just say he has an above average NFL arm, which is more than Cooper Rush has.
Gotcha.
He's also a better athlete, so he's more dynamic in terms of what you can do with him. He's a former Florida Gator, which I definitely hold against him. I have to just throw that out there. So I have a little bit of bias because he was a Gator.
He made his weight in West Virginia. But he made his weight as West Virginia. In West Virginia,
yeah. So then he transferred to West Virginia. He had a PED issue in college.
Right.
He's a better. I'll put it this way: the same question you asked me. If I'm being honest, how do I feel about him in a 3-game stretch or Cooper Rush? I feel better with Will Greer in 3 games, but I feel better with Cooper Rush in a 1 game. So I don't know if that makes sense. I feel like Cooper Rush I could put in for 1 game and get by. I don't think I can get by with him for 3 or 4 games. Will Greer, I think, may struggle in 1 game, but I think I could get by with him because I think he would get a little bit more comfortable as it goes on. So I don't really feel good about either one, but Will Greer is a more dynamic player in terms of what he can do as an athlete. And I think he's a closer Dak Prescott than a Cooper Rush. And I'm not saying talent-wise, I just mean in terms of what he can and can't do. So,
Right.
yeah.
Okay.
That's how I feel.
Mary, Will Greer, Cooper Rush, where you at?
I do think he's more athletic. And he did come from a situation that was not favorable.
Mendoza, don't you bring that up. You knew last year I was about Wish.com. I don't know what you want to call him. Tim Tebow-esque better. I don't know. Or he could. Don't you bring that guy up to me.
That's the guy from the Cardinals, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Go ahead, man. I'm sorry. He triggered me. I'm sorry. He brought up the guy that I'm like, yo, we need to get this guy. But neither here nor there. Go right ahead. Greer, Rush. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm mute myself.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I was just saying I do think he's more athletic than Rush. And he came from a bad situation, so I could see why they think, him being in the Cowboys system with what we have, that he would do better. I'm kind of torn on his arm too, but I know the 2 games he did play, he was not good in. That I did see parts of that, and I was like, oh my God. So I just, I'm interested to see what he does in preseason. But I do think even if he is good,
Right.
Cooper Rush has to be really bad for him to get number 2, because I feel like all the Cowboys needed to see was Cooper Rush won that one game when everybody counted him out, and that was like, boom, we're good. And I think this was kind of like one of those signings where it's like, let's just bring in a little competition, see what happens, but he's going to have to do a lot, and Cooper Rush stuff is going to be really bad for him to get that second spot.
Okay. I mean, it's where it's at. And look, I understand from the standpoint, and we've done this a lot in the spaces more than on the show on Twitter. And of course, let me get that Will Greer out of here real quick. I'm sorry. So, let me pay some bills.
I like the way he was looking at Mariella. Did you guys notice that? His eyes were like right on her. He was just staring at her. Pull it back up. No, not you.
Oh, hold on. Will Greer. Hold on. I got you. Wait. Let me look. I don't know. I didn't set this up.
Look at that.
Well, here's the
His
thing.
mouth.
So, wait. Real quick.
He's
like,
doing.
the one with the helmet's kind of definitely at her. I'll be honest with you. I think it's a good Spoonie.
Oh.
Hey. I love you, boo boo. My wife's in the room right there.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know where I was going there because I know now. Right there on the back side, when I was talking about the Twitter Spaces, y'all can follow all of us on Twitter. I want to bring it back up so you can see where you can follow us on Twitter to make sure you don't miss out on the Twitter Spaces that we do. Is that it's been highly contested about the backup quarterback and different things that are happening, and maybe spending a little bit more. But it's weird because 2 years ago we talk about that they went and got Andy Dalton, right? That's what they did, right? They went and got Andy Dalton, and we're not going to get into all the myriads of different sections of the fan base and talks about what he could do with this group and all these different things. And then Dak went down and we saw what happened with him. So I don't know. I'm very much of the mindset. I don't really care who you are. I just really don't. Yes, I do want to have a more capable backup at the end of the day. If your quarterback's out for 7 to 10 weeks, it's just not going to matter in this league. We have to put it in context like this. There's 32 teams in the league. We don't believe there's 32 comparable quarterbacks in the league that start. Forget backups. We're talking about starters. So when you're getting to the next level of that, I mean, it's just hard and it's just not very good. Cooper Rush winning, and this is why I always go back to Cooper Rush winning the one game. Man, he did win the game. I don't believe in his arm. I don't believe in his arm. It's not good, but he found a way to win the game. That carries weight. It has to carry some kind of weight. Right? But I'm campaigning for Will Greer because I think what O said matters. He can do similar things athletically that Dak can do. And the arm's a little bit more livier, if you will. But, man, it's a mixed bag when we talk about backup quarterback. Because we've had them, right? Kyle Orton's, right? We can talk about John Kitna. Andy Dalton. We can talk about guys that we've had here. It's not Matt Castle. He did. Oh, he won in New England. He took the Chiefs to the playoffs, and he got here. He couldn't win a damn game. Like, we've seen things happen. Sometimes I think the Cowboys really go back to when Jason Garrett was the backup, and if Aikman missed a game, and they would play on Thanksgiving against the Packers, and he'd win. Or we could go back to Bernie Kosar had to play a playoff game, and he won. And, well, it can just happen, and it's not where we are in the league right now.
Well, I mean, maybe it could just happen if they would, do more on other parts in free agency. But, that's, somebody call Stephen Jones, I don't know.
Mary, we're splitting hairs here, if you will. We're splitting hairs. But if Dak's missing over 7 games, I don't care who you go get. It doesn't matter. That's how I feel about it in general. It's in the construct to me of 3 to 4 games. Can you get a guy to get you over the hump? And this is where O said earlier. I don't think Cooper Rush can get you over the hump 3 or 4 games. 1 game, yes. 3 or 4, maybe not. Greer, though, could possibly, he gets acclimated, gets you over the hump. And that's just where we are. If you look at who's out there, not you, Mendoza. Don't you bring up my guy, my little man crush over there.
Jay Tuck plays QB2, apparently. We didn't know that.
Oh, he does? Oh, no, he was two-time. Two-time flag champion. He was a 2-way player, linebacker, quarterback, and he actually threw a touchdown pass to himself. That's why he got signed.
Oh wow,
man.
But
we talked about backup quarterback last year. I know Nick said it, and I kind of laughed when he brought it up, but he wasn't wrong. Nick said last year, said Wilson was the second best quarterback on our roster. I really feel that way. Like, I feel like he could have been the best.
He had a pretty good arm. It wasn't bad at all.
Right. And so I do understand the trepidation when it comes to backup quarterback. But I also understand the Cowboys standpoint of, like, if we can get a guy to get us through a couple of games, but if Dak's gone long term, then okay, Spoonie, then break the glass. And if you can go get a guy, so be it. But that would be too much of an all-in move from Stephen Jones. And we know Stephen Jones ain't pushing no chips all in. So neither here nor there. Hopefully it gets better. The last stretch of quarterback, I'll be very quick here. Are we just buying Hashim Nucci? Is he going to? Is there any way, shape, or form that Ben DiNucci is on the practice? Is any way he's in the building next year for y'all?
Yes.
Practice squad,
okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think he can make the practice squad.
Okay.
On the team.
I don't think they're going to keep 3 quarterbacks, so they're not going
Right.
to keep 2 on the practice squad. So Rush or Greer, whoever loses that battle, you're looking at those 2 because you can keep more vets on the practice squad now. So I do think DiNucci, because they like him in-house, he's friends with Dak.
Yeah,
he can do stuff athletically.
Our
He's a good athlete. He's a good athlete.
Merch,
So in terms of practice squad, being able to show the defense and things, like it makes sense for him to make the practice squad. So while he's a guy everybody immediately wants out of the building, I don't think he's out of the building. I think he's just off the roster.
They can move him
but
they can move him and put Greer on the practice squad.
They could. I
Would
think
you
they're
say
gonna.
no?
I think it'll be DiNucci. Yeah.
Y'all see Cowboys Nation, all y'all in the chat, some of y'all here on this channel, live right now, bought the hats. Y'all are keeping Ben DiNucci here. So when I say Nucci gang, y'all don't get mad at me. Y'all buy them hats.
Wait, what happened?
Y'all keeping it.
No,
here.
what he did was he's very smart. He's close friends with Dak, and Dak wears all the hats. So that
And
was
y'all
his
buy all
first
the
smart
hats.
thing. That was his first smart thing.
Spoonie, those upside down Dallas ones from the brand with
Yeah.
the V in the middle. That's
There it is.
That's
That's
DiNucci.
Ben DiNucci's
Oh, word?
brand.
I didn't know it was
Yeah.
That Dak always wears. Yeah.
Yeah. And
What's
not
the
everybody
point?
buys them.
I
I
like
saw
Nucci now.
like 3 or 4 different people on Twitter today. Just got my true brand, whatever it's called. I got my hat. Guess what you'll never see from me? Ever. And I'm telling y'all now, I'm doing the hat game, right? I'm telling y'all, you're not going to see one from me.
They're so awesome. Hater.
Are they?
Hater.
Are they upside
Hater.
down? Oh, it's upside down. Oh my God, it's so great. I'm good.
Bruce, what a great comment. What a great comment there.
Which one?
His last one.
I bet he sidearm designed those hats.
That's a great comment.
That's why they're upside down. That's why they're.
You
that's
know
why
what? I
Ben DiNucci
would
said
not be
on the squad.
surprised. I would not be surprised.
Hey, no, low key. Look, I don't really hit on the hats. They're cool. Hey, man, get your bag. I'm not really mad at it. Low key, I'm really not. But no, Colts Cowboy, I'm not gonna get the hat. I'm gonna go left. I'll let y'all get the hats. There's too many people getting the hats now. Look,
They sell out all the time.
It's a
These
wave.
right
Yeah. You know, I mean,
They
it
have
is
a
what it
black.
is.
They have a black one for the Dallas Cowboys, and they have.
Spoonie,
all
look at
different
the
colors.
if
Not
you
black,
zoom in on the
Okay.
side of it. Look at the side of the hat. That monogram, I'm pretty sure is his autograph, like stitched in it or
Look,
something.
my
Yeah, I
guy
got mine
Robert,
over here.
my guy Robert said, "What's the address? I'm gonna send you one." Look, for free. If I get one sent to me, I'll wear it on air.
Yeah,
I
that
got you,
comes.
I'll show you mine.
Robert.
Hold on.
I know.
I'll show you.
Mary, we know you got like 5 of them.
No.
Is
Well,
there
but-
anything we can do?
Why are they-
Is there?
okay, stop.
Can we make that
God.
a bet for Knicks?
Why-
Because Knicks is
why are
gonna
they
rock
so
a different
hard?
hat every week. Is there anything the Cowboys can do that will cause you to wear one of those hats? Like if we
No.
win, we start out 10-0. You won't rock a
That's
True
the-
Brand hat?
I'm just. Why are they so
True
hard
brand.
to
True
y'all?
brand, okay.
I just help me understand. Walk me through the door. Why are they so hard?
It's just different.
You know, yeah, it has a different type of flavor. Like it's like remember
Yeah.
back in the days where you wore Adidas, the sneakers, they were plain.
It's different.
You know what I'm saying?
you know?
It's just different. I'm thinking I'm thinking that right there.
Hey,
Hey, this is
Nucci
different.
Gang, we need a sponsor for
Look.
the show, Nucci Gang.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, this is different. This right here is different. What are we talking about? It's
I'll wear
different.
one of those if Nucci Gang sponsors the show. I will wear
Nucci
one
Gang,
of those
Oh, yeah,
hats
yeah.
every
sponsor
episode.
the show.
Hey,
Wednesdays,
Nucci,
Fridays.
Hey, if Nucci sends us, look, I'll wear the shirt with it up. Look, I'll wear it all. You know, I mean, it is what it is. But I don't know, man. I don't get.
Nucci
Look.
Gang.
Here's where I'm at in life, real quick. We're getting way too off topic. We gotta get out of here. We got a couple things to get to. Here's my thing when it comes to that branding. Throw it on for
It
the
has
rest.
to be good.
We're trying to get it in. Yeah, come on, Mary. Throw the hat on for them.
Yeah.
Here's my thing.
thinking that,
Here's
I'm
my
thinking
thing
that.
when it comes through is I've come to a space in my life that I don't
Chuck
hate.
is misbehaving all day today.
Yeah, I don't hate on what people like anymore. I get out of the way of that. I'm like, if you like it, man, I'm excited for you because you're excited about it. It's just not for me. I don't understand the draw to it. Is where I'm at. Somebody help me what the draw is, and maybe it'll bring me in. Look, I'm a guy that wore FUBU back in the day, so it might not be hard to convince me. I'm just saying. Okay, there's some shirts out there, period, that you can find some pictures with some FUBU and all kind.
What was
I
the
just
Rhino
don't
one?
understand
What
the
was the
draw.
company with the Rhino? What was that company?
Oh, Echo.
Echo. I had some Echo
Yeah.
shirts back in the
Yeah.
day.
Hey,
Middle
guess what?
school.
Guess what? I wore an Echo shirt 2 days ago to work.
Did you?
I'm
Oh.
old, but I'm old though. I'm old, guys. I'm old. Look, I got stuff in the closet. You know what? This red Echo shirt. Let me throw this on. I got the red Cowboys up. Let's go. I don't care. I'm not trying to be in style no more. But
The goal
I
would
don't know.
be-
I just
the goal would be to have BJ wear that hat. I'm on it. We got
Super Bowl. We win the Super
gotta
Bowl.
have
You wear the hat.
We got the Cowboys colors.
no.
we
You're
got-
expecting,
I mean,
no.
yeah,
Y'all are
yeah,
way
you-
too high.
you don't like the
Stop.
hat? Yeah.
Y'all are way too high. Y'all are way too high. If the Cowboys get to the divisional round, I'll wear the hat. How about let's start there.
Cool.
Let's set some
Done.
peaks here.
Yeah,
If we win,
playoffs.
no. If we win
Mhm.
the wild card round and we
Mhm.
go to the divisional round, I'll figure out. Somebody have to send me one if I can't find one. They're sold out. I don't know what y'all do. I don't know.
We'll
what
be
y'all
there.
do.
We're gonna be there.
You gotta
Say no
literally
more.
be
We're gonna
paying
be there.
attention when
Yeah,
he drops
and-
the
and-
tweet,
and-
and,
and
then
I'll
you gotta
grab
order
it.
it real quick.
But
We'll
here's
be
the
there.
thing, though.
Say no
I
more.
haven't seen it in the chat yet. Maybe I missed it. I've asked the chat. I'm asking here. Why do y'all like the upside down shit so much? Somebody,
It's
damn, I just said shit
cool.
twice. I'm sorry, 3 times. Oh my
I
god.
just feel like it needs a logo. Like it doesn't have to be the Cowboys logo. I get that he can't do that, but like just something
Yeah.
under the arch. I just feel like it's missing something.
Definitely, I like it. I'm thinking it. Can I see the
See,
side right there, Mary? The
it's-
side.
it's-
Look,
That's-
I don't rock with Dag, but come on.
I'm thinking that. I'm thinking that. Let me give me one.
I remember the
Hey,
first
do they-
time Dak wore
real
it,
quick,
everybody was
do-
like, "Where do you get that hat
Do
from?"
they do a flat bill version, or is it all cut? I've never seen one flat, but do they do a
I don't
flat
think
bill
they
or
do.
no?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think it's curved.
Well,
yeah.
they keep coming out with new stuff and new colors, so it's
Yes,
just
Sam.
like.
Yes, Sam. I did have the Coogee sweater. I'm old.
Oh,
I'm-
well, see, then you should have no
Look,
problem with this.
Look,
then,
no, because
okay?
that's weird. That's weird. It was all that's
A
weird.
Coogee sweater isn't weird.
Mary, look, I ain't gonna put you on blast. You was around for the era, okay?
Wait.
That's all I'm gonna say.
And
Wait,
I didn't
Luka-
wear
wait.
it.
Luka would have had two.
But
Yeah,
here's
they're
the
in
thing.
different
Magic would have-
colors.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
I'll be look. I'll be tipping on 4/4 Saturday. It's my birthday. Leo's in the building. Let's go. But yeah, man, come on, yeah, little Fuji, little cross colors. What's the
It's
problem?
the Cowboys color, Tuck. I had
What's
to
the
wait in line
problems?
for this damn
But
thing.
neither here nor there.
Big blue
Let's
one.
pivot. This show has been very off the rails tonight. You know why? Here's what happened. I know why. We're 6 days away from camp, and we can taste camp, and we're excited, and things are happening. But it's okay. We gotta get to special teams, Mary. Take this upside down special Stranger Things hats that y'all rocking. I don't know what's going on. I don't want to be where y'all at on that. Okay, let's go to special teams. Can we do that? Can we do special teams? Because I know Spoonies
Special
definitely
teams matter.
Mary from you already know. We run these tags. We run these tags.
Facts.
If y'all follow me during Sundays on Twitter, I'm consistently live tweeting all the different games, especially the Cowboys games. I hit this tag all the time. It matters tremendously.
Y'all follow me on Sundays during games. I curse a lot.
Mary, outside of Sundays, you cuss a lot. But neither here nor there. Neither here nor there. But
True.
special teams do matter. So as we're wrapping up, we're concluding the roster breakdown series on special teams. The third slice of the team, not offense on defense, the third, and very important that people skip over in how it matters so much. Special teams. Professor O, special teams leading into this season from last year. Look, year one, we were ready to throw Bones Jones out of here. Year two, great improvement. Year three, nobody in specific. We'll talk about some specific players on special teams. What are your feelings going into year three with Fossil and this special teams?
Yeah, so I'm gonna give Bones Fossil some credit for something that our girl Margarita Mary coined on I think it was our first or second episode. So one thing, if nothing else, that you can say about Bones Fossil is he lets it hang. He doesn't tuck it. He sends people after punts frequently. Sometimes we rough a punter and we're breaking the screen, like, what are you doing? But then sometimes it pays off and you block a punt and it completely changes the course of the game. That one play. So to Nick's point, yeah, special teams matters. When you have a punter, which are you cool if I just go ahead and talk about that? Cool. So when you have a punter like Brian Anger,
go for it. I got you.
You have an all-pro caliber punter. So you have a defense that creates takeaways, turnover margin, and is good on third down. And you have a punter who can flip the field. You're making things easier for your defense and easier for your offense because your punter makes it easier for the defense. The defense makes it easier for the offenses to get the ball back. So having like a Brian Anger, who was a Bones Fossil guy, even though he wanted to replace him with Hecker, that's another story. I don't know why he wanted to do that, but Anger's back, which is good. So when you have a punter like that caliber, that's great. So we have a quality punter. And no disrespect to Chris Jones because he had some good years. And we've had Matt McBride. The Punisher. He averaged like 30 yards a carry. He was incredible on the fake punts. But going back to Anger, we have a punter that we can rely on. He very rarely has a bad punt. He's super consistent. He has a big leg. He was phenomenal. He was a signing last year. I think all of us were like, he's been in the NFL a long time. He's been used on some fake punts. There's a connection there. Sure, whatever. I don't think any of us expected him to be all pro caliber. So having that as a punter is great. You have a long snapper, another Bones Fossil guy in McQuaid. I never heard you forget he's on the team because he's consistent. There were no bad snaps last year. Field goals, clean. Punts, clean. He did his job, so that's great. And then we have a kicker, and that's kind of, And then we have a kicker, and that's, I think, where the topic really starts with special teams in terms of our core three guys. But yeah, Bones Fossil, I like that he's aggressive because that's how I am. I'm a guy that I don't want to punt. I don't want to kick field goals. I want to go for it every fourth down. So having a special teams coach who's like, yeah, we're not going to punt. We're just going to do a fake punt. And sometimes it works and you look like geniuses, and sometimes it doesn't work like Washington in 2020 and you look like a moron. And that's just kind of how it goes when you have that aggressive mentality. But that's who I am. That's like to my core what I want from coaches is to be aggressive and try to win the game. So if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, so be it. But we tried. We tried to catch them off guard. We tried to make a game-changing block punt. We tried to do fake field goals and things like that. I love that. So I'm cool with Bones Fossil, and I'm cool with our special teams group. I'm a little bit concerned with the rookie kicker. He has a big leg. I'm excited about what Garibay can be. But it's an unknown commodity. We don't know how he'll handle the big lights. We don't know how he'll handle his first NFL miss. Does the pressure rattle him? Does he just brush it off and move on and make the next kick? We don't know. He has a big leg, which is fun, but again, I don't want to kick field goals anyways. So it is what it is.
I got you. The growth, and it's from year 1 to year 2. It was more of a controlled aggression because year 1, like, what are we doing at times with some of these fakes or whatever? Year 2 is more controlled aggression. We saw the growth. It's really like kind of the reverse of our offensive line coach in Joe Philbin year 1. Yeah, okay. Year 2, Bones Fossil, year 1, like, bruh, can you calm that down?
Yeah.
Year 2, like, oh, look at us go. What did we block? 4 punts last year? Am I right there?
I think so, yeah.
4, tied the team record, right?
I think all of them. Yeah, I mean, I think there was only one that didn't go in our favor, right? The one with Denver was like,
yeah, and it's because it ended up hitting off of Wright, and then
So
they
we had
recovered. It was like, oh yeah,
Patriots, Denver, Atlanta. So we had like 3 in like a 5-game span or something like that.
right.
yeah.
I feel like there was a 4th one though. I'm pretty sure there was
I
like
do
later in
think
the
there
year.
Yeah, I thought there was 4 because one of them. What was the one that Wright actually recovered for at such a?
That was the Falcons the next week.
Yeah,
We
it
got
was
it
Atlanta.
1 week later. Yeah.
It's true. But again, aggressive and doing different things. Before I get to that, Mariella, special teams and the growth. Are you looking for another step forward now? Because year 1, year 2, here we are in year 3. Just overall, we'll get into some brass tacks of players, but how are we liking how it's progressing?
Yeah, I think one thing we can all agree on is that we were scared of our kicking game. Our kicking game lost multiple games for us, and we were really mad because the Tampa game was extremely winnable. Our defense played well, our offense played well, but our kicker was missing multiple kicks. And then you find out, he had back, his back was hurting, and they went into the game knowing that he was really not physically ready, and they just rolled the dice on the Super Bowl champs. Like, it was
Kick that 50-yarder. It's fine, sir.
it was just so ridiculous that they did that, and then proceeded for the rest of the season to let him continue to miss kicks. And then in the off season, we're even thinking about re-signing him. It was like ridiculous to me. I was so glad that didn't work out.
Spaces
Signing
well,
Zerline. Jonathan Garibay, he's young, he's a rookie, but like Matthew said, he has a leg. He did, as far as actually go, I think he went 15 or 16 in college. So I'm excited about what he can do, but I do feel like there is a need for a veteran, which why I was glad we signed Liram Harujulu, whatever.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. We call him.
Hallelujah.
We don't know his real name.
Yeah.
Right. And he made all his extra points last year in New Orleans. So it's fine.
He's shown that, at least in the NFL, that he could handle it. So I like that he's there. I don't know, is there a third guy? I can't even remember. No. I don't think so, but yeah, I think I'm glad that they signed him, because I don't know if y'all remember, I talked about it on the show before it happened, and I said, why don't they re-sign this guy? He's available, and they did it. Yeah. So I'm glad that they did, because I didn't want them going into the season relying on a guy, even though he looks good on paper. I didn't want them relying on a rookie who could, get in his head, things like that. Brian Anger, they waited a long time to re-sign him. I was getting real upset about that.
But they paid the man.
But they did pay him finally. So I'm happy about that. Same thing with Jake McQuaide. They got him back.
Come on now. They signed a Pro Bowler, guys. What we mad about free? They signed a Pro Bowler.
An All-Pro. We got an All-Pro.
But I am worried about who's gonna do the kick returns, who's gonna do the punt returns.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
So
Spoony,
that's what I'm most worried about now.
Spoony, you've been day one, 10 toes down. As soon as we brought the kid from Texas Tech over, you've bought. You're good.
I tweeted about Jonathan Garibay right before the draft. And I had said, I know everybody was in love with the LSU kicker and my man from Texas, but this is the guy that I want. And bam, it was delivered. And I'm going to tell you this. When it comes to kicking, it's part of the game. we have seen with a winning field goal, team moves on. Great moments, right? Since the Chris Bonies of the world with Dallas, since the Dan Baileys of the world with Dallas, we haven't had a consistent kicker. We bought one in thinking that, hey, his name is the leg, but I guess we got the end of his career. We didn't get the hype, which was at the beginning. But I'm happy for this kid. I think Jonathan's going to come in here and join that Chris Bonio and Dan Bailey list of great kickers in the NFL. I think why? He's young. He has the leg. When you're able to kick 50-yard field goals and maybe hit 2 out of 3, I love those chances every time because technically we don't want you to do that. I think we have a very good team, but we won't allow that. But because of his ability to do that, it makes it easier for the coaching staff because you know what? Let's play safe on this long field goal. I trust that guy. And that's going to be the thing that he's going to bring to this team. They're going to do more trust. They're going to do maybe less going for it. Let's trust our kicker because I trust him. That which is something we couldn't do in the past couple of years. I'm excited for Jonathan Garibay. Listen, I know Hallelujah was signed and all, but we need competition. But this kid's going to make the roster. And I have one prediction. I got a hot take right here.
Okay. Yeah. What's the hot take?
I won't bet because I know my consultants would tell me not to bet this.
Okay. I might be willing. I'm always ready for a bet. So.
He's making the Pro Bowl as a kicker.
I'll take the bet. I'll take the bet.
Oh, Lord.
I'll take the bet. I'll take the bet.
I'm not betting. I am not betting.
Okay.
I was about to say, Spoonie, don't you do it.
If my consultants don't know what I'm saying,
hey, Spoonie.
I go with him.
He can't make the Pro Bowl if you're in the Super Bowl.
Ooh. Don't play. Don't get him started before the sermon.
Okay. I gotta rally him up a little bit. I gotta rally him up a little bit. Yeah, I like Larham. Hallelujah. I think there's some things to his game. I like for the competition to be here. But I'm look, shout out to the Jets real quick. Round of applause in the chat even. Shout out to the Jets. Thank you for signing the leg. Right?
Yeah, because saving the Cowboys from themselves.
Save us from ourselves. Saving them from ourselves. They signed him. They was going to bring him back. Shout out to them. Get him out of here, and we can move forward. So I'm excited about that. I think for me, when I look at this game, when we talk about special teams, the one thing that I look at the Cowboys that I want to see get better from last year to this year is the hidden yardage. I think on one side, hidden yardage wise, from the punt game, they expanded their game last year. On the backside of things, on the hidden yardage, on the punt returns and different things of that ilk, not so much. I'm very tired. I'm very worn down on this. We just drafted a guy, wide receiver. He's never punt returned before, but you know what? You can catch the ball, be a punt returner. Not that it hasn't worked out here and there, but overall, I'm okay with getting a specialist. We have specialists everywhere. CJ Goodwin's been on this team, guys. He's not he's called a cornerback. He's not a cornerback. Mm-mm. He's look, you can make him whatever you want to call him. You put ST by his name. That's who he is. Right? We need to get somebody to help us on the return game. Maybe some of these undrafted guys from the wide receiver position can do that, walk through the door, but they need to do something there better. Last year, y'all know I was on here live. I was like, put Pollard back there. Oh, he's never returned punts before. Shit. A lot of these man, that's 4 down. I am bad at this. Either way, I am tripping, Mary. I am tripping. But either way, like you put guys back there that have never returned punts before either. I'm trying to generate more touches for Pollard. But let's get a guy that's really good at it. And I'm okay there. Let's make that happen. And of course, Spoony, we did sign a guy, the USFL MVP, former TCU Horned Frog. Can return punts pretty well.
Yeah, Turpin. Yeah, listen. He has the speed. He was the MVP. He had a out of TCU, I believe. Yeah, TCU. He had some off the field issues where he didn't even make it to the NFL. But him jumping from the outside leagues like the European leagues and other stuff, that's why he really played him. But he really came to his own this past season at the USFL where he won the MVP. Had some offensive duties as well. He was just that guy that make the team click. And listen, I'm hoping we could get more guys like that on this team. I'm all with it. Listen, we don't want to see Tolbert or Lamb playing special teams. We don't.
They got to bring him in, though.
Yeah, they have to. They have to.
I hope.
They got to bring him in. Yeah.
I hope. You worked him out. Bring him in.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. He gives you the juice.
100.
With that being said, CJ Goodwin, I brought him up just a few minutes ago. A lot of money, right? $2 million against the cap. You get up out of here. Do we think there's somebody in-house that can unseat CJ Goodwin and get him up out of here, Professor O?
Yes. So I have 3 guys that I think are potential guys that could boot Goodwin off the roster. The first guy we talked about when we did our safety breakdown is Tyler Coyle. This was Spoonie's guy last year. Tyler Coyle was a safety for UConn, transferred to Purdue and moved to linebacker. They had a shortened season due to COVID. And for the Cowboys last year, he was mostly just a special teams guy. He did get to play some snaps late in the year against the Eagles. But he's a guy with good size. I think he's 6'1", 215, and he's a 4'3" guy. So when you're talking about traits and intangibles, a guy who can play linebacker or safety, who can be that hybrid, maybe a Keanu Neal type of guy that can move into linebacker room down the road or whatever, that's attractive. But where I'm going at it is he's a guy who's fast and can tackle. You could have beat out Goodwin as your gunner. Maybe that's a role for him, and he's half the cost. We know money matters to Stephen Jones. We know it matters to the organization. So if you have a guy who's younger, can do more on the roster, and is cheaper, they may go that route. Then we drafted a guy, Deron Bland. His road to the roster is beating out Goodwin this year. He's a traits guy. His film's not great. He's a guy who some people say could be a safety. He was drafted as a cornerback, so he has maybe some position flex. But again, he's a younger guy, athletic profile. Could potentially be a guy to boot out Goodwin. And then the other guy is Isaac Taylor Stewart, ITS. He is big, fast, had shaky film at USC, but he was a highly regarded, highly touted prospect, I should say. But he's a guy that ran a 4.4, and people thought his time was slow. They think he's more of a 4.3-ish guy, and he's 6'2", 210-ish, something like that. So if you're not bringing him in as a true cornerback, but you're looking at him from, again, the traits angle, he's a guy who's, again, half the cost of Goodwin. Yeah, I think there's 3 guys on the defensive side of the ball that could be the reason that they finally jettisoned Goodwin. I know he's been a core part of our special teams. Being a gunner is super valuable. You're running 40 to 45 yards downfield with 2 guys trying to block you, and your job is to make impact or redirect or take the return guy's head off of catching the football. It's valuable, but I think we have 3 guys on the roster right now that could make that not as much of a sure thing as it's been in the last few years.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I don't think CJ Goodwin makes the team this year. I just don't. I think there's enough guys available. And Spoonie, we were talking about this on the space before we got on here. The linebacker core that Dan Quinn and this team has added, very athletic.
Yeah.
Maybe not position fits, if you will, but very athletic that transcend and can get you, hey, be a special teams guy, we'll get you here.
Right.
Look at the money, everything else. I don't think Goodwin's going to make the squad out of camp.
Yeah, on top of that, Goodwin is 32 years old. He's 32 years old. Youth does play a side on the decision making if they want to move on from him. You want your young guys on there to make plays. That's the life of it.
Mary, Goodwin, to you, is he here? Oh, we're in trouble.
I mean, that's hard for me because I understand what you guys are saying, but I just feel like they also value the experience too, and they're gonna, like I said before, they're gonna give him, anybody who's already in that spot, an opportunity to win or lose it. I don't think he gives up that easy.
Can I push back a little bit though? So this year we're going with a rookie kicker. At least that's the thought. And we're also going with a rookie return guy who's not a return guy, potentially if the talk of Tolbert. So we already have 2 routes right now on the roster where we decided to go with the younger guy who maybe doesn't have the experience.
Haven't technically decided yet.
Right, I know. I'm just
But
saying as
we're
a
giving him a
flip
chance.
side of it.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
I'm glad. I like the youth movement. I definitely do. I just don't know that it's going to be that easy for that many young guys to unseat some of the guys we already have.
Fair. That's fair. It's an intriguing point.
Yes.
It is when it comes to Goodwin, what he's done on this team from a special team standpoint, his age, the money, the guys they have in here now. And honestly, we're probably the only show literally over here debating about CJ Goodwin. But hey, context matters and hashtag special teams matters. And we
Facts.
believe in it. We believe in it. So yeah, roster breakdown series, guess what's going to happen? We're talking about these guys on special team and how we move forward when it matters. So yeah, look, there's a way to get Goodwin off this team. There's a way for him to stay. It's kind of where we are. $2 million. Again, I don't think he makes the squad. I don't think. I think they're going to find a guy. But Mary, I'm with you. I wouldn't be surprised if he does make it. I think they're going to look for a way to get him up out of here. It will be on him, though.
Yeah.
It will be at the end of all of it. It'll be on him. So it's intriguing in that point. As we wrap up the special teams point and we actually conclude the 2022 roster breakdown series ahead of training camp, the last thing that y'all want to speak about when it comes to the special teams, I want to start with Mary L. Ladies first. Ladies first. The last thing you want to put out here about special teams as we get up out of here and we're about to head to Spooney's sermon.
I mean, I just hope that they figure out the kick return and punt return situation. Definitely don't need CD there. I don't want Pollard there either. So I hope that they do figure that out and whoever it is handles it.
You wouldn't rock Pollard on kick return still?
I don't want him there. No.
Ooh, I would because they're not going to use him on offense. So let him get them burns.
Well, we're praying. They're practicing it in practice, BJ.
Fair. But I'm just saying. I'm saying I feel you, but I feel you though.
Yeah.
Son of God's serpent, we got to worry about it. How about that?
Yeah,
he can do both, and we got to worry
facts.
about it. Spoony, last word on special teams.
It's about time.
Not your sermon, though. Not your sermon.
No, it's about time that we have some returners who could definitely help move the ball up the field with some positive yards, some good short field for the offense. It's about time we get some of that. We haven't had this since Dwayne Harris.
10-4. Professor O, last word on special teams.
Yeah, I have two last words. I have a last sentence. We'll go with that. So,
last sentence from Professor O. Fair enough.
Noah Brown. Noah Brown's the guy that he's not that old, but it feels like he's been on the team for like 11 years already. People comment and say like he has to have, something like pictures against the organization or whatever. He just keeps making it year after year. He's known as being like a blocking wide receiver and a special teams guy. He's one of the core special teams guys. Let me ask you guys right now, if you had to guess, how many tackles did Noah Brown have last year on special teams? He played let me give you the numbers first. He played 179 snaps. How many tackles?
All right, I'm not going to answer already though, so I'll bow out.
20.
What about you, Spoony?
45.
20 and 45. Okay. He played 179 snaps last year on special teams, which was 48% of our snaps. Had 0 tackles.
Wow.
2020.
That's why I knew
it was low. I knew it was low.
217 snaps. I'll give you the answer this time. He had 2. So he's played almost 400 snaps in the last 2 years on special teams and has 2 tackles. I'm just saying,
that good of a blocker
I feel like I can replace that. I feel like I can replace what he does as a blocker with the current receiving room. And I feel like what he does on special teams, I can replace that with basically anybody on the roster. Like, that's how low I am on him.
Drummond.
I agree. I've always wondered why he keeps making the team.
Fryer Drummond.
Freifogel or Drummond? Yeah, either one. Either one of those, I feel better. I feel better.
Okay.
Yeah, either one. Like, that's where I'm at with him.
Yeah, I agree.
Second special teams thing I want to talk about. Mary brought up punt returner. There's a guy on this roster Nix knows where I'm going with this. Spoonie knows where I'm going with it. Mary may have heard us talk about it before in the group chat. We have a current guy on the roster who was a highly drafted player, who can't crack the cornerback room, who's dynamic with the ball in his hands, and was a 5-star prospect coming out of high school. I know it's high school, but he's been a returner, and he was an elite punt returner and kick returner. If Kelvin Joseph, assuming he's not suspended or it's a short suspension, cannot crack the top 3 on my roster, I want to find a way to utilize him. I'm making him my punt returner, or at least putting him in that battle at camp. If I don't think he's going to unseat Anthony Brown, Trayvon Diggs, or Jordan Lewis, which I think most of us don't think he's going to do, I want to find a way to use him. Otherwise, it's a wasted pick until he plays. So why not go ahead and get him there in the return conversation at training camp and see what he can do? Let him return some punts in preseason, see what he can do, because he is a great athlete. He is dynamic with the ball in his hands. You can see it on his college film when he did pick the ball off. You can watch his high school highlights and see, I know it's high school, but still, you can see what he did as a return man. He has vision that matters as a returner. So I'm advocating, if we can't get him to crack the roster in the top 3 and he's not suspended long-term, that Kelvin Joseph should be our punt returner, or at least a guy that we work out to be a punt returner.
I'm all for that.
And here's the thing about it. And obviously not saying he's Devin Hester by any stretch.
Right.
But you spend a second-round pick. Let's find a way in a lane to capitalize on the draft capital that we've spent to get him on the field some way, some shape, some form. And look, and how about this one? I'll take it a step further. Even if it's your 4th corner, like he was last year, basically, it's cool. Let him return the punts.
Yeah.
Let him happen. Let's get some return for what he's doing. So no, I'm completely there. I've said it a bunch. The Cowboys have not really invested in a returner punt wise in a long time, and they need to. And there's guys on the roster that we think can make the team, that they've spent draft capital on, that they can let them walk through that door. And I completely agree. Kelvin Joseph would be one of those guys. If he can't crack the top 3, they might not want him to. To be honest, last year the deal for Brown, right? So on and so forth. Let that ride out. You felt comfortable about your top 3. Give him some time with things that are happening to mature a little bit. Get him ingrained into the game. Put him at number 4. Let him return punts. Let him have a role and things happen. And maybe that matters for him. So that's an interesting point. And I would be all for that.
Same.
Special teams matter, guys, as y'all see, as y'all know. And hopefully they continue to trend up as they did from year 1 under Fossil to year 2. Maybe get a good punt return, that hidden yardage. I think we're all on board with the punter. The kicker role, though, is going to be a little bit of a one thing that we haven't talked about a ton about. We got to watch this and watch that, especially preseason games. How does he kick the ball in preseason? Field goals, extra points. We're like, if he misses one, we're like, oh God, we're in trouble. So it's going to be very.
My thing is missing one. Okay, happens, but it's how you respond after.
Real quick, as we're about to pivot here to our final segment, Professor O, I know you got to go. We ran a little bit late. We're about to get to the Spoonies sermon. As always, do what you got to do, brother. Appreciate you as always.
Bye.
Yeah, sorry guys, my 2-year-old woke up. He's screaming, so I gotta go. Dad duty. But
Bye.
thank you everyone for joining, and I'm gonna have to run it back to hear Spooney's sermon. So
because now we got to get to and look, it's Spooney's sermon time, Mary. Mary, it's
do I time it or what?
All right, Mary, get the clock. Look, don't put him on a timer. Just start the clock and let's see how long it goes. How about that? 1,
Okay.
2. It's Spooney's sermon time. Real quick, everybody in the building. Drop it. Drop the fire emoji. It's about to go down. Mary, I think we got to pivot and let Spooney have the whole screen. At least.
Yeah, let's do it.
For a minute. We'll give him whole screen. It is the first sermon of the year. If y'all have been a long-term sub to the YouTube channel as we're into our 4th season, it used to be the Spooney Minute. Last year, we christened it to the Spooney Sermon. Spooney was ready. We said, no, Spooney, you had to wait. Our last show before training camp, which we are now officially 6 days away. So this is our last show before training camp. Okay? It's our last show before training camp. We wrapped up the roster breakdown series. It is officially time, ladies and gentlemen, for the first of the 2022 season for the Spoonie Sermon. Spoonie, with that being said, brother, it's on you.
All right, I need everybody to gather around me. Players, staff, Cowboy fans. It's been about 4 to 5 months since the last time we all met during the playoff game against the 49ers where we lost. As you look around the room, you're going to see some players who was on your team that day. They're not here today. They have moved on to different locations. So we're going to start off with a clean house. Speaking of clean house, I see Randy Gregory jerseys on the floor, and I see Amari Cooper jersey on the floor. Take those jerseys, throw them out in the hallway. Find a way to get it to them. That's not allowed in this locker room. From now on, we are talking about the current players on this team. There is no discussion on who was here, and we're going to cry about why they should be here. Understand me. We are moving on. Now, as far as the players, next week is camp. I'm going to address you guys next week. Today, I'm addressing the fan base. As Miss Mary walks around and pass this form around right here, I want everybody to see this form. I need you to sign this form and give it back to me. Why do I ask about that? I asked about that form because how in the hell this offseason are we allowing fan bases like the Eagles, Washington football team, Washington Commanders, and the Philadelphia Eagles and the New York Giants come in here and question what the fuck are we doing? What is it? What is it that we allow them to take our names on social media and drive us nuts? What is it that we bowing down to what the damn media is saying and we are shaming our team? Why is that? Why is that? You know why? Because we're becoming soft. Cowboy fans don't become soft. We are hard as shit. We are hard rock. We standing here going back and forth praising draft grades. Since when? When do we do draft grades? When does draft grades dictate what's going to happen on the field? All of a sudden now we are accountants, numbers are taking over the game. Then now we're saying because this guy got a 3, he got a 2, they're going to win? Understand this. Cowboy Nation, we are entering the 2022 season. Training camp next week. The same questions that we may have going forward is the same shit that every other team gotta get answered. We are still the damn champions of the NFC East. Understand that. I don't give a shit what type of paperwork with fucking crayons on it, crayon colors on it, give us a damn seat. We are A across the fucking board. Understand that. I know. I understand I'm going to get ridiculed and bashed with the comments I'm making today. But you know what? I'm all for the damn show. Because as I walk, I talk, and I deliver. And as I'm delivering to your asses today, y'all need to step up your game in becoming fans. If you're not a fan, jump off the bandwagon and join them damn motherfuckers over there in the NFC East. Understand that shit. I will never, ever want to see a post or a tweet about, are we discussing that it's Dak and Lee quarterback? Zeke is overrated? The Eagles got a better AJ fucking Brown? First of all, let me explain about AJ Brown. That man has been quiet. You know why he's been quiet during Tennessee Titans? You know why? Because he has not been involved. He's been injured. He's been hurt. This man makes $25 damn mil. coming to this division and you called out the Lion and Michael Parsons? Are you insane? Are you damn insane, Brown? Let me explain something to you. When you got a Lion and Parsons, you got a Tank and D-Law. You got a damn Bulldog with foaming out the mouth and Javon Curse. And when you got a damn Eagle, a real damn Eagle, and Trayvon Diggs, who digs it up with anything thrown his way, you never question that shit. How dare y'all question your fucking team? Question yourselves. Understand this shit. When we go hard, we stay up there. No bullshit. You gotta change the fucking tune. We are Cowboy fans. We are Cowboy Nation. We stand up for our team. We ride. We break shit down. We do the walking, the talking, and loving it and liking. That's how we roll with the Star. We don't sit here and debate what the fuck about a quarterback and shit like. What the hell's wrong with y'all? What is wrong with y'all? Y'all should be shaming yourself. When you see this contract right here, it's called a fan base shit. This right here is a damn shame that somebody got to sign this shit. It's bullshit. Out of heart, love for the game. It's because you're a Cowboy fan. You don't sit there and cry having these debates. You got BJ Nix doing therapy sessions. Are you kidding me? These fan base come here and take the fuck over. We are America's team. We don't fucking damn Care Bears. What the hell's wrong with y'all? What the hell is wrong with y'all? I'm dismissed. Everybody out my locker room.
Oh. All right. Woo.
Yo. All right, look.
All right.
Real quick. Here's what I know. Here's what I know. We have not turned on our new leaf here. We have a new name. But the leaf hasn't turned completely yet. For sure. Okay. Number two. That's going to get clipped. I'm telling you now. I already know.
Ooh.
That's going to get clipped. That's gonna. Oh man, that is going somewhere.
Spoonie over there sweating. Happen. He like, dang.
Look, I think I'm sweating. I don't know. I think my headphones are busted. I had to move my headphones up. I was like, yo, my man. Like I took them off. I could still hear him. I'm like, hey man, look. 6 minutes and 26 seconds of hot fire from Spoonie and getting it in. I told y'all, even though it was in the Twitter space earlier, I said, man, hey, look, we put him under wraps. It's his first one of the year. Y'all didn't want to miss this. And there it is. Mary, I just want to be clear real quick. Before we get out of here. Episode 1, you said new leaf. Hey, here we are. Yay. Episode 3, you completely got up out of there.
Yeah.
But it's okay. You came back, though. But you came back. You said, okay, I came back. Tonight, earlier, I broke kayfabe a little bit. A little bit. And this, we just kicked the door in. We just kicked the damn door in. You feel me? He kicked the door in. You know, now on the Libra scale, look, thank God Professor O left. I'm sorry, Professor. I'm glad you're left. Because he might have woke up everybody in your house. I don't know.
Yeah, we never know what Spoonie's going to talk about. We just, let it roll.
My guy said, I'm voting for Spoonie in November. Look, we are. Look, it is a new year. Excuse me. It is a new year. It is a new us. But sometimes, man, the passion comes to is what we're about. Look, we are passionate about this. Let's be clear. Into our 4th season, we are passionate about this. We do believe in context when it comes to these projects and these shows that we do in breaking down and talking about this team. But the thing that drives us going to our 4th year, rocking together and everything else is exactly what Spoonie just did. We are all passionate and it matters. And that's why we rock the way that we do. And that's why we enjoy everybody coming through for and rocking with us. The tail end of it. We will get the context and everything else. But at the very end of the day, man. It's passion. That's why we're here. And trust, Mary is cool. I've seen Mary at a game. I'm gonna tell you now. Me and Spoonie saw Mary at a game. Me and Spoonie was like, "Oh, it's Mary's sermon." Oh, but that's what connects us together on this show. That's what matters, and that's what we really want to convey to all of y'all throughout that. We want to have a good time. We do want to talk about these Cowboys, and we want to do that. But what Spoonie delivered is the antithesis, realistically, of what we're about. And we appreciate everybody that comes along for a ride with us. Make sure you keep sharing. Make sure you keep showing us love. Man, we've been doing great this year. We appreciate everybody for the ride. Spoonie, are you okay? Is your blood pressure? Are you all right? Okay. You got out your system. I know you've been holding that thing in for about a month and a half now. I'm glad you got it off. Yes. I'm glad you got it off. And with that being said, Spoon, there it is. Hashtag no soft life. So we got don't tuck it, let it hang. No soft life. You know what I mean? Look, back in this, if you ain't following Spoonie on Sermon, go follow him, man. Go follow him over there on Twitter. But with that being said, Spoon, I can't let you get off that way. You know what we do. We're going to pivot up out of here, and we're going to go over there to that Twitter space. We'll have a good time over that way, too, and rock. Mary, if you want to come along, I know you got work now. Look, she said.
I'm already thinking about Mary, my pillow.
She was like, Mary, who?
And I was like, where?
Who? Who's Mary? But with that being said, me and Spoonie go over there on Twitter. We're going to rock out with y'all a little bit longer for sure. Man, hold on, Rob. Mary, can you please show the people? Do you have the timer up? So we let Spoonie speak.
We let Spoonie speak for over 6 minutes.
6 minutes and 26 seconds. It used to be the Spoonie minute. We just gave up. We couldn't do it for a minute no more. We just turned it to the Spoonie sermon. And that's where we are. You feel me? But look at the chat got up out here. It's like, let Spoon cook. We're gonna go cook. I tell you what, we are gonna let Spoon cook. We're gonna cook it over there on the space as soon as we get up out of here. With that being said, I do want to do the due diligence, if you will. Right there is the terms where you can follow us. Your guy Nick, Star Game Beauty, Spoonie881, and then of course at Professor O as well. Friday, don't forget, not just we do this every Wednesday, all the way through training. All the way through training camp. Spoonie's got me hyped. I don't know what to do with myself right now. But all the way through training camp, every Wednesday, we're rocking right here, doing our thing. And then every Friday, we got the Freestyle Friday. Our guy was in here earlier. We dropped the link. You can come through. Our guy Sam was through. Voch was through. Mass, Aisha. I mean, we just have a good conglomerate and really have fun. So Friday, 9:30 p.m. Central. The Cowboys Happy Hour space goes down at 7:30 p.m. Central on YouTube, on Twitter, and then we pivot over there. So come through, rock with us on Fridays as well. Hit the sub, tell a friend. If not, look, because now we unleash Spoonie. Mary, real quick, you're the lawyer, and O's not here, so I can talk to you now. Sorry, O. I don't think we get another Spoonie sermon until our season preview show. How do you feel?
Agree.
Do you think preseason game or season preview show?
Tuck him back in.
Put him back in the crate.
Back in until the preview for week 1.
Okay, there it is. Boom.
We'll be at that game. We're gonna preview it. It's gonna be hype.
Gang. All right, so now when the season gets here, we let it roll a little bit longer. But for now, y'all caught it. Y'all was here. Boom. When we do our season preview show, that's the next Spoonie sermon.
Yeah.
And between now and then, we'll get another Mary Object session because I got some things cooking. It'll be fun. With that being said, we're gonna get up out of here. We appreciate y'all rocking with us. Give us about 10 minutes. Me and Spoonie will be back over on Twitter on the space, and we appreciate everybody. And real quick, look there. Let Spoon cook. Sermon anytime the Reverend feels the Spirit move him. Whoa! Look. And then really quick, the LO joke. Keep him contained. And last comment of the night, we are Mega Scene DCB for life. Let's go Cowboys. Man, we can't end it no better than that. Appreciate y'all. We'll catch you on the back end. Training camp. I know y'all can taste it. 6 days away. My birthday on Saturday. Holla at your boy.